everyone! Welcome back to Misty Mountain Streaming. I'm the D&D-Wannabe, my name is Rob, and this is Call of Cthulhu, and I am not nervous at all I finally know what Rifle Stud feels like to be running a new system for the first time on stream. So, y'all bear with me. Look at these cool people that are on the screen with me. We have some returning faces, some new faces. Y'all say something just so I can make sure the audio is coming through.
Hello.
I
promised not to go insane in the first game.
Cheers. I plan on going insane at some point.
I beat you all to it, is the good news. Let's see. I have a little bit of futzing to do with my overlay, just a thing or two that I need to adjust. We do have some announcements and some things to say about this stream, but before we do any of that, let's hear from our wonderfully cool people. We're going to start all the way in the bottom right with the actor currently known as Johnny Lawrence.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I am very excited to be back. My name is Steven. I'm Rob's brother. I've been here before. I was taking part in the Rhymehold ritual and something else that I've already forgotten the name of, where we fought an eldritch horror in D&D. So now we're just doing that
in the dark. Was that one?
What Lurks in the Dark. So now we're doing that in the correct system, where I am much more likely to die. I am Rob's co-host on Bardic Twinspiration, and that is how I ended up being here. And I'm very excited to be trying Call of Cthulhu. I've only played it once or twice, and this will be the longest running thing that I'm involved in if I survive long enough to do so.
Oop, that went a little weird on me. I'm sure everyone can see. I thought Steve's frame was Erik's frame once upon a time, so Erik is just ever so gently breaking immersion here.
Yes, I'm moving all over the place.
Do I need to talk about characters? We're not talking about characters yet, right?
Not talking about characters.
Thank
yet.
goodness.
We can.
Dr. Abernathy.
Now let me get Steve where he belongs. We had this.
Put me in my place.
I thought I had this. I didn't have this. There you go. Now everyone.
It looked good a minute ago.
It did, and then I reorganized everyone to actually be where their characters' names were. Hello, everybody in the chat. You will hear from me personally in a moment. Let's hear from DM Diggy Squirrel.
Oh, hi, guys. My name's Mike is good enough. You don't have to call me DM Diggy Squirrel, even though that's the YouTube channel. I think there's a link around here somewhere if you want to find it. It's growing. It started just as something to share information with the guys who've been playing my game for 20 plus years, and it's been growing a lot lately. But I am these guys' uncle, believe it or not. We've played a lot of games together over the years, never on Twitch. I've had the pleasure of appearing on their Bardic Twinspiration podcast once or twice. And I'm a huge Cthulhu fan, so I cannot wait to play this game.
So that also makes you the person I am the most eager to not disappoint with this game.
I will not be disappointed, I'm positive.
Yes, if you have listened to the podcast that my brother was talking about, you will have heard to my uncle referred to as the Godfather, out of an interest to protect his privacy and because we think that's cool. But now I suppose that your name is out there on the internet, we can actually just call you Mike on the podcast.
I don't mind being called Mike or Diggy or Godfather is fine. Godfather sounds simultaneously criminal and old. So
they don't know how appropriate that is. Let's go next to Katie. Hello, Katie.
Hello.
Who the hell are you?
Who am I? Well, like you just said, my name is Katie. I am a longtime tabletop role player, longer than half of my life at this point. Starting off with D&D 3.5 and then kind of exploring everything since. Also a longtime horror fan, although this will be my first time actually playing Call of Cthulhu, so I'm very excited to combine those two interests into one. Other than that, I am coming up on my 30th birthday, which I'm really stressed out about, and I have many adorable pets that I love, and I spend my time drawing D&D character art on the side.
All right.
And that's about that.
Real quick show of hands of the people on the screen. Who has already survived their 30th birthday? I think you're going to be fine, Katie. Now, Katie is the baby on the stream. If you would like to see Mike's YouTube channel, by the way, you can type !Diggy into the chat. And if you want to see Katie's cool art, you can type !Silverpin, the name under her, or next to her name and underneath her character's name over on the screen. And it has been far too long. It has been a calendar year since I have managed to get Erik Braa on the stream. I'm so excited to have you back, dude.
I'm thrilled to be here. My love to Misty Mountain, streaming and gaming. Yeah, what's up, everybody? I'm Erik. I am an actor, voice talent, and director and producer, and do stuff and things. And most people know that you can have me read you stories to go to sleep. I'm on the Calm app, or I'm also on. Oh, look at that! GIFs, we love it. I'm on the Calm app as well as and I'm also a secret identity is Cotton Dreambeard for the kids. I also do the Sleepy Time broadcast, which is a podcast for sleep stories that I do. You can find that. Look for the Sleepy Time broadcast, BRAACAST. Yeah, check it out. I'm on erockvo on Insta, and normally I'm just Erik Braa wherever you find stuff. Anyway, I'm thrilled to be here because Rob and all you guys, but Rob specifically, we had hit it off when we met, and Misty's been so nice. John immediately was like, "Yeah, we want to work with you." So it's been nothing but love, and so my love to all of you. Thanks for having me too. Thank you very much.
Erik is an excessively, frustratingly humble man with an enormous amount of talent. He has his own Twitch channel. If you type !Erik, spelled as in his name, in the chat, you will be taken to his Twitch channel, which some of you already know where it is because TL Holdren just came in and gave out 5 community subs to people. Thank you so much. I'm so excited people are excited for Cthulhu. This is the first time anything, a tabletop role-playing game that is not Dungeons & Dragons has been on this channel. And,
Is that right?
yeah.
Wow.
It
Okay,
absolutely
cool.
is.
Oh, I forgot about the Braid headline. I've never played this game.
Yes. So let's transition to that. We will eventually play this game, but this is the first session, so we're gonna chat with you guys for a minute. Much to Steve's frustration, I know he likes to get right to the action. When he has free time, he wants to spend it playing.
It's okay. I've got food. You guys
He found something to do.
Talk all you want.
Thank you, TL Holdren. What a generous fella. Also, thank you to Ghostbody
definitely.
for the follow, by the by. Thank you for supporting this channel. We are Misty Mountain Streaming. We like to tell and experience great stories, and the normal line that I use is that our favorite way to do that is playing tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, but now it's tabletop role-playing games like Call of Cthulhu. This game is very different from D&D for anyone who is watching along. First of all, this is a horror game. This is not an adventure game. The people to stage right, screen right, those people are not big adventuring badass heroes. They are normal schmucks who have been placed in extraordinary circumstances, whether they know it or
You
not.
can speak for everybody but me then.
Okay. Jack Kealy is an extraordinary schmuck who has been placed in extraordinary circumstances. And they are going to be muddling their way through as best they can. Compared to D&D, they have very few hit points. They have very few ways of fighting back. And everything that would be a life-threatening situation for myself and for you as the viewer will be a life-threatening situation for them. And I'm kind of looking forward to exploring that. That's why we're doing Call of Cthulhu at all. So let's talk a little bit about what that is going to mean. But first, let me quickly say hello to the people in the chat. Of course, TL Holdren is here. Leo Yeager was the first one to pop up in the chat. Zeke Geek is here. Hello, welcome back. Mega Gorilla Dude, who is a map creator for Roll20 for virtual tabletops and whatnot, who I've been emailing, is here saying that is a rad beard. And I know he was talking to Katie when he said it.
I mean,
Totally.
yeah, I've been working on it, so thanks for noticing, man.
Eric is the Viking of voice, and so of course he has the beard to match. Fabled 42 is here. Mudseye is here. Who else? All right, that's all the
Eric.
people who are chatting. If you want me to say hi to you and you haven't, and you are watching but not chatting, chat, and then I will
Chat.
know to say hi to you.
I'll try to keep an eye on it too, since you've only got 100 things to do.
I am grateful. The Mike has run Call of Cthulhu a small number of times before. I, Rob, have played, never run Call of Cthulhu. I think we decided, was it 3 times?
I think that's about right.
Steve has played it twice. Katie and Erik have no idea what's going on. So all of us are novices. Please do not look at us and say, ha ha ha, that's how it's done. It's probably not. But we are intending to enjoy ourselves. Rather than using a d20 for everything that Dungeons & Dragons uses a d20 for, we are going to be rolling percentile dice. And I have, right in front of me here, I have the dice that I'm going to be using. I'm going to see if... which camera is the Twitch camera. I'm going to show Twitch, and then I will show you guys. I have little dice that are made up... There we go. They have little skulls on them, and they're made out of rib cages and stuff.
That's cool.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
figured
that's nice.
I figured these were appropriate for the thing. So anytime anything needs to be decided, usually I will very rarely be rolling dice if I'm running this game well. We'll be rolling percentile dice, and they're hoping to roll low. It's not high bad, low good in this game. And they are comparing them to numbers on their character sheet, which they came up with all on their own, and rolling lower than the. Can you tell I've already had stress bourbon? Rolling lower than the number they decided is necessary for success will mean success. Rolling higher than it means the bad things. And you are welcome to use your channel points on this channel to assist the players or me in succeeding in our various endeavors. In D&D, you are able to buy inspiration to be able to double your chance of success on a particular roll, giving someone advantage. And I have these little elder signs. Let's pop those up in the corners of the screens here. Katie's broken. Nope, there we go. If you see an elder sign on the screen, people in Twitch, that person has a bonus die to be used on whatever they want it to be used on. When they use it, that elder sign will go away, and that means you can buy them another one.
That's very cool.
I made it more affordable than the inspiration on other nights because I want you guys to use them because they will probably need the help. This game is you're more likely to fail in this game than you are to succeed in a lot of ways.
And you said I wouldn't know how to play.
There you go.
Exactly. We excel at failure. I bet I can fail in the first hour.
You Excelsior at failure? It's the name of the hotel. 2 things to go before we get started. First of all, thank you to Sheepish Lamb, who is a community artist, who drew everything that you see on the screen that is not somebody's face. The camera frames, the background, the title cards, all of this is Sheepish Lamb. I think she is streaming on her own, or she is doing something else tonight. She said she would join us later in the evening, but this is all her, and she is awesome. Hello, Acid Baby! That Acid is also from Erik's channel, I believe. Look at you.
Yeah, I do a happy hour stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, and we hang out for about an hour or 2 and have beverages, and it usually gets very ridiculous and silly. So there you go. Super fun.
Oh, I've already got a fan. Aldrin bought me a...
Hey, Rob, you gonna come on tomorrow?
Oh wait, you don't give the keeper bonuses? Come on.
No, it's great. I'll take it. Give it to me. Thank you.
That is not fair.
You can already see
that is wrong.
where the toast is buttered on this channel.
They've already gotten the hang of, the idea that this is supposed to be a horror game and we're not supposed to.
Yeah, and we're all supposed to die in the first episode.
The idea is if you play long enough, you will die or go insane.
Real.
And yes, Erik, if you'd like,
No.
I believe No, actually, we have a family thing on Tuesdays. Thursdays, hit me up, and I might be free to do Thursdays going forward. I'll tell you what the Tuesday thing is later. But as Steven, aka Johnny Lawrence, just mentioned, Steve, I am starting to come through your mic a little bit, by the way. I don't know what changed in the intervening time. As Steve mentioned, this is a horror game. You will see something very new to this channel in the title of this stream and down at the bottom of the placard beneath my frame. This is a horror stream, and it may contain things most appropriate for adults to view.
Trigger warnings.
Yes, basically that. We're planning to run a game where scary things and unpleasant topics may rear their heads. I haven't set out to include the full gamut of things that people might be uncomfortable experiencing in this stream, but in case something crops up that some people might not enjoy seeing, I want you to know, go into this knowing that something unpleasant to someone is going to happen. With that, we are pretty much ready to get started. Does anyone know of anything that I have failed to say that really ought to be said, except for the fact that Erik is getting an elder sign in the corner of his frame as well?
And Katie.
Yeah, I get one too.
Ooh,
Yep.
look
Yeah.
at
Katie. Well,
Don't take that away from me.
Well,
Now-
well, Mr. Keeper.
Now the investigators are ahead. I like it.
It's coming through. I think Grimforge, Fable. Hi, Payton, by the way. Love you, buddy. The chat's going to have you all taken care of by the time I get done with the introduction to this game. There it is.
Raven.
It's all in there.
Everyone's got one now.
Thank you very, very much.
I love
Thank
this
you,
community, man. There are some more mechanics that we will get into as we play, but let's go ahead and play because we were a little late starting. This took longer than I thought to say all of these things. So, let's get started. The year is 1932. The city, Chicago. One of the 3 largest cities in the great country of the United States of America at the time. Although, great is probably the best adjective to describe the past decade. We just ended the Great War, slightly over 10 years ago. We just started the Great Depression. And with all of this greatness going on, the people are feeling not so great. They try to distract themselves with the silver screen. They try and cope with alcohol, which is illegal during the Prohibition. And they try to find whatever they can to distract themselves and to make it through just another day. A haven for those trying to escape, trying to shut out the outside world, is the great Hotel Excelsior. Placed, unfortunately, on the opposite side of Chicago from the newly constructed Midway Airport, Excelsior is not in its heyday. Things have gone a little bit downhill. The fabulous Hotel Drake opening has stolen quite a lot of business, and people are wanting to stay closer to the airport than on this side of things, even for a wonderfully decorated and well-appointed hotel, as the Hotel Excelsior. Built and funded by one Richard Goldman, this hotel has stood for but a few decades, and yet already seems past its prime, and seems to attract the sorts of people who wish to go unknown, to go unseen by the rest of the world around them. We are going to meet 3 characters who have been here for some time, and one who is only just arriving. The one who has been here the longest is doubtlessly Dr. Everett Abernathy. Dr. Abernathy is it's not quite fair to say the sole resident of the 7th floor of Hotel Excelsior, but he's the primary resident of the 7th floor of the Hotel Excelsior. And Dr. Abernathy, if you would please introduce yourself, tell the chat sort of what you look like. I will provide a picture, and just kind of what they need to know about you as we meet you.
Sure. Dr. Abernathy's in his mid-30s. He is a medical doctor. Of course, medicine in 1932 is a little different than it is now, but he's highly educated. He's very smart and healthy. His looks could only be described as unfortunate. And he is otherwise a paragon of mediocrity.
That's what I aspire to be.
He is wealthy. He was wealthy on his own and then married into one of the richest families in Chicago. His wife, Josephine, was the heiress to the second largest pickle manufacturer in all of the U.S.'s company. She died, unfortunately, in a boating accident at their house on the lake about 5 months ago. And the local papers turned it into this salacious, sensational story. Did the doctor kill his wife? Why couldn't he resuscitate her? What's his angle? And he has retreated from high society and from the public eye into the Hotel Excelsior to hide from the paparazzi and the reporters who want to write these terrible stories about him. He's prim and proper. He's extremely nice and generous, but nobody would really call him friendly. He wears expensive suits that are boring and brown and gray and lack any color. And more or less keeps to himself here at the hotel. He's knocked down a bunch of walls to turn 1 or 2 rooms into 10 or 12 rooms, or reverse that, I guess. And I think that's about it.
Would you like to, or would you like me to introduce your living companion up here on the 7th floor?
Well, you'll be playing him, so why don't you introduce him?
That's fair enough. Constant companion over many years to Dr. Abernathy is one Travis Cole. Travis Cole is just a few years Everett's senior. They've been together for many years now. He came into the employ of Everett whilst he was married as his, what'd you say? It was a body man.
He's his body man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And among the many possessions that followed Dr. Abernathy to the Hotel Excelsior is Travis Cole, who is caring for his friend, who is attending to him, making sure he doesn't wallow too deeply in the sadness that has found him these many months. Up in your room, where much of your belongings have followed you, though most of them remain yet packed in boxes and bits of luggage, Cole has sort of cleared a path from room to room to be able to meet you, and an adjoining door attaches your suite to his comfortable but smaller apartment. He spends most of his time in here with you, as opposed to his own chambers. He is putting on his jacket as it is close to dinner time, and is hoping to keep your regular appointment of going downstairs for your evening meal. And as he does so, Everett, it's nearly 6. Are you ready?
Just a moment. Let me grab my jacket. And I go and put on the same suit that I wear every night. The same shoes tied in the same way. same stiff back, the same part in my hair, the same bow tie. That's the only spot of color he ever wears is this green bow tie. And he says, I guess I'm ready if you are.
I think I'll try the veal tonight. Will you join me in branching out, trying something a little different?
Chef knows I want a steak. He'll make my steak. It's Tuesday. I eat steak on Tuesday.
You know, the chef creates specials throughout the week to tempt and tease the palate, and well,
it's unkind to surprise the man with a special order. He knows what I want each night of the week, and he prepares it exactly the same. I prefer it that way.
That he does.
Now we're going to be late for my steak.
Yes, sir. And he will open the door for you and accompany you to the elevator to descend towards the mezzanine level, where you can procure yourself with the evening's meal.
I get down there at the same table, sit on the same side. It's pulled out by the same person who puts the napkin in my lap on the same thigh. Everything's the same for 4 months since I got here.
The server comes over to your table and greets you, but does not ask what you want to eat. Instead, checking with Travis to see what he'll be having this evening. And lets you know politely that your steak has already been started.
Wonderful. And again, Dr. Abernathy is always extremely polite to everyone. He treats everyone exactly the same. He doesn't see class, he doesn't see religion or race or anything like that. And whoever this server is, he says, thank you very much. You do an excellent job.
I never get tired of hearing that from you, Doctor.
And I nod.
Now, on the mezzanine, several floors up, someone else is preparing for their evening. A guest is supposed to arrive tonight, a guest whose acquaintance Johnny Lawrence would very much like to make. What is Johnny Lawrence doing at this time? About 6 in the evening.
Yeah, about 6 in the evening. So he'll be getting dressed especially for this occasion. You know, if he's expecting that person to come in tonight, then, you know, he's making sure that he's got his jacket on, that his, cuffs are pulled out just the right amount, that he's got the good watch on, you know, that his hair is slicked down in just the right way, and, you know, plucking the stray hair from his little pencil thin mustache. Just, you know, checking himself out in the mirror just to make sure that everything is just so that he looks exactly like he does on the big screen. You know, when he's got a makeup team and all that sort of stuff, he wants to look as close to that as possible. You know, wants to have the face that this guy could see in pictures.
Wonderful. You spend your time in front of the mirror. It's almost odd that this mirror isn't bedecked in little bulbs to help you see yourself as well as possible. A bit of a change of pace for Johnny. You look immaculate. How does the rest of your room look?
The rest of my room is compact, shall we say. Johnny is a actor, and he is in between roles at the moment, which is a situation he's trying to correct as soon as possible. He's been staying at the Excelsior. It's a little bit rich for his blood at this current juncture, but he knows that's where all of these big shots are going to be collecting. He knows this is the place that he needs to be, and he wants to keep up appearances. Appearances are very important. He doesn't want to doesn't want to let anyone know that his career is anything but perfect. You know, if he's not on a roll right now, it needs to be because it's his choice, because he's looking for the right thing, not because any production companies might have decided to go a different direction.
Right. So you are preparing yourself in this room. You look exactly the way you want to look. It's time to head out. Excellent. You make your way out of the room and to the elevator. And you step inside, and as you are getting into the elevator and climbing aboard, you hear a voice say, "Hold the elevator, please." And you know that voice. You've heard it before. You've heard it on the studio lot. You've heard it in many a radio interview. That is the voice of one Lena Lockwood.
And have I heard her in this hotel before?
You know she is staying here. You don't know if she knows you're staying here.
I peek out from the elevator to see if she's coming. Oh, it's her. Okay, so I'm glad that I've already checked everything, but still, make sure that everything's correct. Like I duck into the side of the elevator, and just all right, and then I hold the door for her so that she can step on.
This is what.
And I'm trying to put on, I'm trying to not make a big deal about her being here because I'm also a big deal. I'm a big deal too.
Yeah, you are. You're absolutely a big deal.
Yeah. She, I know who she is. She probably knows who I am too. And we don't want to consider any other alternatives. So
yeah, you keep on thinking that.
Absolutely, Miss Lockwood. Let me hold that for you.
I love how much Erik is enjoying the actor life of Johnny Lawrence being between roles.
It's phenomenal. He's
she climbs aboard and says, "Why, thank you very much. I lost track of the time. Why, Johnny Lawrence, is that you?"
It's me,
Johnny
Miss
Lawrence.
Lockwood. How you doing?
You are the last person that I expected to find here in Chicago. What are you doing here?
I was just trying to get away for a little while. Maybe try out some new things. It was getting to be a bit of a rat race out there in LA. Everyone trying to sign me for this and for that, and I just thought I could use a little bit of a break. That's probably why you're here too, isn't it?
Oh, of course it is. It's just you can't even hear yourself think with all of the press just constantly flashing bulbs in your face and asking you this and asking you that. You know what it's like.
I remember. Yes, of course. It wasn't even that long. Yeah, that was like last week that was happening to me. So you're just trying to get away as well, or is there something going on in this town that you're maybe working on?
Well, actually, and keep this to yourself, darling.
Oh, absolutely.
I wanted to have a meeting with a studio man, but away from everyone, away from everything, where we could really, really talk and get, have a chance to be artists again and not just stars. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course I know what you mean. Yeah. So you are here to meet a studio man. You are here to meet a studio. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Get away from LA, get somewhere a little bit more relaxed. Maybe you're thinking of trying something in theater.
Oh, theater? I love theater. I don't know if I could.
Oh, who doesn't love theater?
That again,
though. But so it's not a movie that the man is coming here to talk to you about?
Oh, of course it's a movie, dear.
Oh,
movies. Yes. Now that there's talking pictures. The folk can finally hear my voice. I can start to sing. I can show off my dancing. It's just the whole world has opened up lately.
Yeah, it's really created a lot of opportunities. Yeah, for everyone, for everyone concerned.
I'm so excited for both of us, Johnny. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, it's such just a delight that you're here as well, Miss. Maybe we should grab a drink sometime. Are you doing anything this evening?
Oh, well, perhaps we're going to get our meeting started. I believe he's supposed to be due any time now, but
Oh,
in
he's
the
coming here
evening.
this evening. Yes. Okay. You're probably going to meet him in the lounge area then.
Yes, either the Midas Club or near the mezzanine bar. I
The mezzanine
understand
bar. Okay.
he's probably.
Excellent.
I
That
understand
just
he's
so happens to be where I was headed at this exact moment
Oh, that is
myself
wonderful.
for other reasons.
We'll have to
Perhaps,
see you there.
Yes, I'll escort you down. I'll walk you down there. And then
She wraps her arm around yours as the
yeah.
elevator reaches the destined floor.
Oh, look at that. Mustache has got his steak. Must be 605.
Mustache. That's Dr. Mustache.
I didn't go to school for years to not be addressed as
Exactly.
Dr. Mustache.
What a delight it is to have just happened to have bumped into you here today, Miss Lamont. Right this way. I'll take you on over to the mezzanine, and then I'll give you some space so that you can have your meeting nice and private like.
You are so thoughtful, Johnny. You know, everything the tabloids said about you aren't true.
What? Of course. What are they saying about me now?
She begins to regale you of all of your shortcomings. As
Yep. Yeah, I did that. Yep, that one's true.
Yeah, right.
They didn't mention that I do all my own
That
stunts.
was me too. Oh boy.
No.
Oh, yes, they did mention that you do all your own stunts.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
They say that's where your true talent lies, as a matter of fact.
Hey, so how about that drink?
I think the chat would like you just to run the game in the Lena Lockwood voice from here on.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, what do they say? Oh, Rifle Stud is here. Hello, Neppy's Hut is here. Dabs is here. I think it's time to move on from Miss Lockwood. Let's find another broad in this hotel. Ellie Walker. It's about 6 o'clock. Now, you have a room here, but you work here as well. Where are you, and what are you doing?
About 6 o'clock, she would be finishing up her work for the day. Kind of cleaning up, making herself look presentable and like a civilized person again. Getting ready to go and mingle.
That is best. What is involved in you looking your best for the evening? What I think there's lots of different levels of looking one's best. What level does Ellie achieve?
Yeah. Ellie achieves a pretty good level. If we're going like out of 5, I'd say like a 4 out of 5. Bootlegging is kind of a dirty business. Brewing, it gets you kind of gross, gets you sweaty, gets you smelling weird. So it's going to involve at least a minimal amount of bathing. But she's got an image to maintain, so doing a little bit more work than that. We've got some makeup, we've got a dress that might just be almost up to the knees, so way too short. And little gemstone headband thing going on.
So, Ellie, you've come up from the basement of the hotel where your still is, where you are kind of the beating heart of the social life of this hotel since the Prohibition, which definitely did a number on the hotel's business in the day. Not that the Depression has helped, but even though you haven't lived here for very long, you have been here for quite some time, and the faces around the hotel are familiar to you. Some have come, some have gone. Lots of familiar ones, and none more familiar to you than someone that has recently come to the hotel to also take up semi-permanent residence. The face of Lorenzo Ricci. Ricci should be down in the Midas Club this evening, gambling, and you are welcome to be there. You have been there on occasion before. And it's one of the few times that Lorenzo has left his room since coming here. Before he moved here, you saw a lot more of one another, as it happens. But the promise of seeing him tonight kind of dangles on the air. How do you feel about that?
I feel great about that. If I am going to a place I am unwelcome, it is probably going to go right over my head until someone says it directly to my face.
That's
So
great.
obviously, I'm going to go see my guy. Because I'm a little offended that we're not spending as much time together, honestly.
Yeah, he seemed quite stressed of late, actually, and you know that his work sometimes requires discretion, and you know that he doesn't tell you everything, and maybe he never will. He's just mysterious that way. But something about work has definitely got him on edge lately, and he's never been afraid of drink, but he's been drinking a lot. He's always been a gambler, but he's been gambling a lot. And he has not sought as much solace in your company as perhaps you would prefer these past several days.
Yeah, I mean, big mistake on his part, so
Oh yeah,
I gotta go fix.
He's missing out. But he's probably due to be down at the Midas Club about 7:30. You'd be surprised if you saw him before then. So you have about an hour and a half to kill. Where are you headed?
Well, after I finish up, get dressed, make sure everything's in the right position and looking good. Probably just to grab a bite to eat. But yeah, got the right idea.
Okay. You know the chef here, the one who's already got a steak on, or who has apparently delivered a steak to Dr. Abernathy, as star of Screen Johnny Lawrence has noted.
Johnny held up that elevator for a long time, I think.
Either that or Dr. Abernathy takes his steak very rare.
Couple of moves.
I think
There
he
you
probably does, actually.
That's fair. So yeah, you take the elevator down, Ellie, and you also are making your way towards the Avalon Bar, and the gentleman who cooks for the hotel, at the hotel's current level of business, he actually does all the cooking. At one time, he was just the head chef, and now he's created all the recipes from everything in the Avalon restaurant to room service. And very accomplished French chef named Jean Olivier. And Jean also knows what you like and how you like it. Doesn't know what you're going to order like he does for Dr. Abernathy, but you are assured a fine meal whenever Jean is cooking. You've also gotten to know his sister of late. Your still, down in the basement, is not that far from the housekeeping areas where laundry is done and where the boilers are and whatnot. Jean's little sister, Cosette, has come to keep an eye on him and has taken up a job as a custodian here and doing some housekeeping, attending to the rooms and washing the sheets and whatnot. But you head towards the Avalon restaurant. You take a seat wherever you please, even though this is dinner time. And there are several people down here in the hotel restaurant. It is not nearly full. There's not even a hostess on duty. It is self-service, and as you take your spot, sent from the mezzanine bar, where you know your friend Mr. Byers has your spirits, a cocktail in an unassuming glass is sent to your table. What do you drink? What does Paul know you like?
She's gonna like to drink anything colorful. So if we got like cherry or like blue, anything that can be like colored or like flavored
Blue
to be
curacao.
nice and sweet.
Yeah.
I was about to say blue curacao, and I'm like, wait, it probably doesn't exist.
A blue motherfucker
But-
arrives at... No.
But really, for the liquor, probably a whiskey.
Okay. So, neat?
No, with like some cherry juice or
Okay.
something
Blue
similar to
Curacao.
sweeten it up.
That...
1920s.
there you go. Blue curacao
There you go.
is delivered to your table. Again, in an opaque cup of an incorrect shape, so as to be unassuming, even though the prohibition has got to be on its way out. You all know this. Like, the country can't stand this for very much longer. But pretenses are best maintained. Even though everyone knows, they still pretend, and it is the dance of society at this time. As you all have headed to your various meals and cocktails, a cab arrives at the door of the Hotel Excelsior. Coming out of that cab is one Jack Kealy. Jack is a West Coast man. This Midwest nonsense is not for him. Not much of a world traveler. Only goes where it's absolutely necessary for him to go, and Jack Kealy does whatever it is necessary for Jack Kealy to do. As Jack Kealy steps out of the cab, tell me a little bit about Jack, Erik.
Jack's he's a good-looking lad. He's not like attractive. He's just not unattractive, and he's got that solid jaw, kind of old private eye kind of thing going. Has a sturdy suit that might just be, I don't know, Carhartt's version of a wool suit. It's gonna be sturdy, it'll last. He can crawl through stuff, and he can get it washed. I'm just kidding. But he's a private eye. And I'm here to, have a couple of meetings. Well, one specifically. I need to talk to Lockwood.
That's right. You have been hired. Your services have been afforded. While a private
He's kind
eye,
of a Hollywood fixer.
Yeah, I was gonna say for all of your various talents, and you are a talented man. You have been kept basically on retainer by a studio of
Shall remain nameless.
Of definite legitimacy to handle any problems that might come up for them. And there is a problem, and it's in Chicago, and there's no man for the job but Jack Kealy. Another cab is arriving, as you do. The cab man gets your suitcases, your briefcase out of his trunk, and sends you on your way into the Excelsior. As you walk through the doors, black carpets and golden designs stretch out beneath your feet towards an ornate stairwell to a mezzanine level. You can see straight up through the bulk of the building up to an enormous skylight at the top. There's no balconies. All of the rooms inside of the hotel are private, but you're looking 13 stories up as soon as you walk in the door. The first eyes that meet yours are a portrait, a large, indulgent oil painting of Richard Goldman. Which is,
Jesus.
Let's see.
Compensate much?
There we are. Quite a dapper gentleman, Mr. Goldman, with his cane and top hat, staring at you almost precociously from his painting. On your left, you see...
Are the eyes moving?
Not currently. No.
Is there literally somebody behind the painting?
That's game 3.
Erik, shut up. On your left is the front desk. A bellhop, a surprisingly large man. Probably you would react to seeing him the way most men react to seeing Erik Braa walking up to them for the very first time. Comes up and puts a hand on... Yes, exactly that, Steve. Puts his hands on your suitcases and says, "Let me get that for you, sir." And takes them over towards the desk so that you can get a room. You can see that there's a restaurant on the mezzanine level. You can see that there is a bar on the mezzanine level, which says closed. But there's a man back there. And somewhere, sourcelessly, invisibly,
to work on that signage.
There is the sound of a piano being played, filling the hotel. Perhaps it's from the club a couple of floors up. Perhaps it is in some secret alcove just to provide ambiance. Nevertheless, you hear it. The person behind the desk, awaiting you, is an older woman, older than yourself at least. She's dressed fairly plainly. Her only concession to finery is a pearl necklace hung about her neck, which, unbeknownst to you, she received for her 20th year of fine service to this hotel from Mr. Goldman himself.
It's Lisa Simpson. I thought it was Betty White. I was like, is that Betty White?
I have, for the delight of myself and you guys and our various audience members, the photos of the various NPCs are photos of various actors of the era. So please enjoy finding out who those people are in the chat for me.
Yeah, let's see it in the chat. Scream it out when you know who it is.
I
Show how old you are.
I have tried to avoid them in the prime of their careers to make at least a little bit of a game out of it. Nevertheless,
I've recognized a couple.
And you'll recognize more. I know you will. So this is the woman that greets you as you approach the front desk and says, "Welcome to the Hotel Excelsior. Name, sir?" And she takes out a pen and prepares to write in a ledger.
Listen, it's Kealy. You should have gotten a call about this reservation already.
Oh, so you're Mr. Kealy.
Yeah, I just got in. Who knew to put the damn airport across the damn town?
Oh, don't get me started. It's a right tragedy, frankly.
I bet you it was the cab companies. They make more on all these long rides. Ridiculous.
That they do. I'm glad to hear of you and your company's commitment to excellence, not convenience. We do
Indeed.
greatly appreciate your business, Mr. Kealy. We have a room prepared for you. Will you need any special accommodation?
Nah, I don't think so. Think I'm all right.
Well, I'm Miss Templeton. You can call me Joe. And this here is Terry. And if you need anything, Mr. Kealy, you please let us know, and we will be sure to provide it for you. The hotel prides itself on taking care of its clientele.
Well, thanks, Joe. I appreciate that.
She begins scribbling various things. She says, your room has been paid in advance for a week. I'm glad you'll be able to stay with us. You could actually work your way through the menu at the Avalon.
All right.
Tonight's
Sounds
the veal.
nice. Veal?
Yeah, I'd order
Isn't
the
that
steak.
little babies?
Yes, it is. I would order the steak.
Thanks, Joe.
That's excellent, man.
That's so easy, but it got me.
That was some well picked low hanging fruit.
That's the only ones I can read.
Yeah, Jack's gonna head to up to the room to settle in.
Yeah, she hands you a key, your key. Let me double check where I've written it. She hands you the key to room 505. And yes, chat, they used actual keys at this point.
Yes, they weren't little fake credit cards that you
Not exactly.
Or your phone.
And the good thing is they worked every time. It was. Can you
Yeah, they
imagine a
did.
time? We've really gone backward in the past 100 years, 90 years, whatever.
I don't know if backward's the right term.
I like that you get mad when you do math wrong.
Yeah. I get mad for a lot of things. So you head up to room 505 to take the elevator up. You pass by a few other people continuing to head down to get themselves a meal. You open up the room, and it is quite similarly appointed to how you saw. Beg your pardon. To how you saw the lobby was decorated. It's very much in an Art Deco style, although your room, rather than being decorated in black, is in sort of a cobalt blue. You have a lamp, a bedside table, a bed of requisite
Nails.
softness. It is, you imagine that it was plush originally, and then mistreatment by various guests or enjoyment by various guests has made it lumpy in places that you are going to have to accommodate. Nevertheless, everything seems spick, span, clean, well appointed. You have a closet, you have a countertop, you have a sink for yourself, a mirror, a vanity, a valet, or a valet. Which is it, a valet or a valet when it's in the room and not parking your car?
Well, I guess
believe
that
it
just
is
depends on where you are on the planet.
A valet is like a servant. Like
Okay, so it's
butler.
a valet then. If anyone, by the way, let's get this out of the way now. If anyone here in the chat or watching this at any point in the future is an expert on the 1930s, I'm not. So be prepared for wild anachronisms.
Yeah, raise your hand if you're over 90 years old and can help.
We'll thank some people in the chat in just a moment. Jack, how do you make yourself comfortable? What have you got? What have you got to unload? What do you keep on you? Do you unpack it all?
He packs pretty light, so he's just gonna toss the case, flip it open, pull out the sundries, go into the bathroom and like rinse off real quick just to take the flight and the travel off you, and then make sure he's dapper enough to get going, and then he's gonna end up going right down to start trying to see if he can get a scope on Lena.
Okay, wonderful. All right, you head back down the elevator to the floor marked with the mezzanine level. And there's the bar, and there's the restaurant, and that is the floor where all of us are congregated for the time being. Let me get Joe off the screen here. We have so much happening in our chat that people should deserve to see their names down here. Thank you real quick to Decrepit Hawk and Catalyst Designs. Catalyst Designs is also from Erik Braa's community. For following the channel. Thank you for showing your support. Hope you are enjoying this. Hope you find a reason to stick around. Thank you to Grimforge, my man, who gifted a tier 1 sub to Mega Gorilla Dude, our map artist, and for Decrepit Hawk, who just showed up and subscribed with Prime. Thank you so much for doing that. Subscribing the smart way. Costs you nothing and means the world to us.
And you don't have to watch ads.
And you don't. I'm so sorry for the ads. We have to make money off of this somehow.
Twitch just does it on its own. You just have to you got to sub. That Prime stuff, that Daddy Bezos money's fine. We'll take that shit all day long.
So you're coming off of a long flight, Kealy. You come down the elevator and you look to your right, and you see a restaurant. And you look to your left, and you see the closed bar with 6 or 7 people in there.
Definitely going left.
Okay. 2 of the 6 or 7 people are... I'm getting a little bit of sort of white noise off of Mike's mic at the moment. I don't know what has changed. The fun of Twitch involving weird stuff changing in the middle of a stream for no reason. But 2 of the people in the bar, you recognize one of them as the person that you are here to speak with. That being Miss Lena Lockwood, starlet of the silver screen and Hollywood darling. And then there's another guy, you can swear you've seen him before. It's weird to see him in color. It's hard to put your finger on it. Do you go to the movies much, Kealy? Oh, you're muted.
Being in the industry probably doesn't go as often, but he's seen a few things. But I would imagine he might not know him right away.
Nah, it's on the tip of your tongue. Like you imagine.
Yeah,
exactly. You should probably know him. Maybe he's been in the tabloids as like an older gentleman that Miss Lena was into, or something. Whatever it is, it'll come to you. It'll come to you. But she's engaged with him over at the bar. Before we continue to follow that scene, we've abandoned Everett and Travis for a little while, so let's actually follow the camera right off of that elevator as Kealy peels off left and return to Avalon, to the restaurant in the hotel here. Everett, the steak has arrived exactly the way you liked it cooked, exactly the way it was served to you last Tuesday, and the Tuesday before, and the Tuesday before that, into perpetuity. Travis has ordered the veal and seems rather disappointed in it, actually. Apparently it's not, the recipe has not been perfected, and he's left half of it in front of him without finishing.
I catch his eye just long enough to let him know that I know that he knows that I made the right decision.
I know
But I
that
don't
you
say
know
anything,
that
'cause
I
that
know
would be
that you're
rude.
not
That
enjoying
would
this.
be. Catching that glance, he sets the knife and fork down and puts his hands up, says, "Well, Doctor, sometimes we make mistakes. I'm man enough to admit it, I'd like to think. Steak on Tuesdays."
It's true. It's true. Sometimes you do make mistakes. It's big of you to admit it.
Well, you've known me long enough to see many. What shall we do this evening, then? Should we walk over to the Midas Club? There's going to be a performance this evening. A little music.
I'm in my brown jacket. I'm going to put on my gray jacket before we go to the speakeasy. Of course. Have you no style, man?
He looks
Go
at
up to
you
my
in a
room
way.
and get my gray jacket.
He looks at you in a way that seems very incredulous of the implication that he has no style, and yet he is one of the people that helps dress you, and says nothing.
Come
And
on,
not
Travis.
my
Come
Monday
on.
gray jacket, but my Tuesday gray jacket.
Yes, sir. And how would you like to dress me this evening?
You
He
make
is
your own
saying
decisions.
very sarcastically. Yes.
It doesn't. Your sarcasm doesn't become you, sir. Show some dignity.
He leans in and says, "Neither does the Tuesday gray jacket become you. You'd be better off sticking with the Monday gray jacket." I shall fetch it for you, though. Anything else
Thank
while
you.
I'm up there?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm glad at least.
Oh,
Well,
take some cash out of the safe so we can take care of the bar staff, the speakeasy staff.
right. Of course. We will do. And, shall I bring the chess set down?
Yes, I think so. That sounds wonderful.
One of these days, I am
You'll
going to
beat me?
beat you. It will. Just because you predicted what I was going to say does not mean that you will win tonight as well.
Predicting what you're going to say is as easy as predicting your next 6 moves.
Perhaps, if you have a third cocktail, I'll stand a chance.
Good luck.
And he adjourns to fetch the Tuesday gray jacket and the chess set and the cash for the bar. Ellie, you recognize Dr. Abernathy, and you recognize Travis Cole, who is now leaving Avalon. Dr. Abernathy has a bit of a reputation of being almost mechanically, predictable. He has a schedule that he follows to the letter on a daily basis. A very regimented man for someone that, as far as you know, has no military background whatsoever. Paul, who crafted the cocktail that you're currently enjoying, speaks of him very highly as a magnanimous tipper. You take note of him across the restaurant as Travis leaves, who doffs his hat to you as he exits. What have you been up to? Your meal has arrived, your drink has arrived, your meal has left, your drink has left.
Well, in the meantime, she is entertaining herself by people watching. Kind of just wasting some time here. But one of her favorite things to do is to observe the very strange characters who come in and out of this area, including the doctor, of course.
Strange?
Doctor Strange?
Ooh, that'd be much cooler than I actually am.
That'd be much cooler than I actually am. Well, Ellie, as you look
Yeah.
around, you notice a few other figures around the hotel restaurant this evening. Just because we haven't rolled a die yet, roll a d6 twice. Let's see who else is down here.
Okay. We got a 6 and a 3.
Interesting. Okay. One of the figures that you see is a young man about your own age. He's dining alone. He's finished his meal. You notice he was here before you got here. He finished his meal about the time that you got here. And he has not left yet. He's been sitting about, staring at an empty plate of food and a glass that has remained relatively untouched. Condensation has gathered on the outside of it. He seems to be staring alternately at his plate and occasionally at you. And at a ring on the finger of his left hand that he continually fidgets with as though it's making him uncomfortable or that he's not used to wearing it. You hope the latter is true. You recognize this person as Hank Martin. Cosette, in her various times down there in the basement, has told you about him. He's a newlywed here in Chicago, here in the city, for his honeymoon with his young wife. And they've been here longer than expected because of a sudden and unfortunate turn in Miss Martin's health that has kept her confined to her room. Hank has come down and spent most of his time alone, without his wife and outside of the company of others. You're not quite sure what's going on inside of his head, but he seems to not be in a hurry to return to his room or go to anywhere else. He seems to be prolonging his stay down here in the restaurant.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I would like to. The first thing she would do is acquire another drink if she can, because this might be a 2-drink conversation.
You look over your shoulder and you never asked for this, you never intimated for this. You just realized that it was happening and are able to take advantage of it. When you are down here in the restaurant, Paul over across the lobby on the other side of the mezzanine always seems to have one eye on you. And all you have to do is give him a little signal, and sometime later, a drink will arrive. So you tip Paul that signal, and you know a drink will soon arrive.
Awesome. Well, yeah, as soon as I catch Paul's eye, Ellie, not having any fear nor sense of social boundary, will go over to Hank's table and slide into the chair across from him.
You seem to startle the man as you do so. He was certainly not expecting to be joined by anyone today. Let's find you.
He choked in the veal.
Let's show everyone Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin, not an unhandsome gentleman by any means. As you sit, he starts to rise. Says, good evening. Hi. To what do I owe the pleasure, Miss
Hank, you're Hank, right? You can call me Ellie. I mean, most people call me Ellie. Eleanor's a little outdated. I just noticed that you are over here looking like somebody ran your cat over, and I'm a little worried about you.
He is certainly a little bit overwhelmed by your comfortability speaking to him, and expresses as much as Ellie, it's nice to meet you. I'm Hank. I'm Hank, and I don't own a cat.
That was a metaphor, Hank. What's wrong?
Oh. What? Well, you see, it's Barbara. Married life is, well, it's our honeymoon, you see, and things aren't exactly going as I had.
Jib day.
But it's all right. You know, better or worse, sickness and health, and all that. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. And I appreciate your concern. That's very touching. You're very sweet, and pretty, and sweet. Thank you.
Well, let me give you a little bit of advice, Hank. I know you didn't expect the sickness part to start the day after you get married. Most people wouldn't. Having a little bit of... And is my drink there yet?
Yes.
Is it shut up?
Let's
She's gonna lift up her drink and
as you reach to gesture with it.
Yep, I'm just gonna grab that out of the air. Having a little bit of something to take the edge off might keep you sane a little bit longer, friend.
Well, that is, well, I mean, that's illegal. You know, I don't drink.
Well, first time for everything, Hank. Today might be the day.
Today might be the day. Yeah, how do I, would one, if they did, get a drink?
Do I feel like he's like kind of a snitch, or is he cool?
Let's
Why, he's a rat, see?
roll some dice.
While you're rolling this, I just want to say I imagine that she's like Lily from that one season of How I Met Your Mother. Thank you, Linus.
I know that
Exactly.
season of How I Met Your Mother. That is a good season. And it almost makes me forgive Lily for season 1, as a matter of fact.
Breaking my boo.
Almost.
Let's
see. It's sense motive in this game, isn't it?
It's psychology.
Psychology. Thank you, Mike. I do not have the reference in front of me that I was hoping to have in front of me. I have the book, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not searching a PDF. I'm actually trying to flip through and remember where I left things. So
sense motive sounds so familiar.
Yeah, that's
Where did I leave all those rules?
So let's roll psychology. Now remember, we're rolling percentile dice and not a d20. Remember that you have a bonus die from the chat if you so wish to use it, and they can't buy you another one until you have used the one you have.
True.
Excuse me.
Yes, I think someone already tried to buy another one for Erik.
Did they? Let's
Really?
see.
And for Katie.
Yeah.
So yeah, someone tried to buy another one for me. It just didn't work.
It is so nice. So if you want to go ahead and spend this one, I'll let you keep it because Sheepy, our overlay artist, tried to buy that one for you.
Sheepy.
So I'm gonna press my button because I made the button. There it goes. It's used, and now it came back. So we're rolling 2 percentile dice, 2 d10s, two D100s and a D10. Take the lower of the results, and you want to roll below your psychology skill. Thank you for the help, Mike.
Okay.
Yep.
I've actually got a 25 in that, so I did put some points into psychology.
Okay. Best of luck.
Okay, so I guess the lower of those two would be a 27.
Oh.
So close.
Wait, does my 25
Missed
stack on
it
top of
by
the 10%
that much.
that you?
When you put points into it, you should have started with the percentage number that was already there. So did you start at 0 when you filled up?
I started at 0. I put 25 points into it.
Okay.
Then that should be 35.
Then it should be, yeah.
So it should be a 35?
Well,
Okay,
it
so it's a
should be
35.
whatever the starting skill is, the starting number is, which is the little percentage to the left of whatever you put in there, and then add whatever you put in there.
Got it. Okay,
10%.
So what is your new number?
35.
35. So a 27 is below
Yeah.
35, so that is a success. For the people in the chat, there are levels of success in this game. It is possible to roll not just a success, but a hard success, an extreme success, and a critical success. Those will not come up as often as I just made it sound like they would. But they are a mechanic in the game.
Probably success won't come up as often as you seem to imply that it would, just in general.
I will also mention, for the benefit of the people on the stream with me, although Mike likely doesn't need reminding, if you come that close, because we thought you were just 2 points off, we have a stat in this game called luck, which is consumable. You can buy your way to a success at a point of 1 luck point per point of your roll. And it's kind of hard to get that back, but you could absolutely do it. And you are going to get some back at the end of each gameplay session. Not very much, but you shouldn't feel too scared to spend it. Just don't spend it on everything. All right, but that is a success for psychology. Your impression of Hank Martin with success on the psychology, he seems to be, he's not a miserable man, but he is sad. He is uncomfortable. He seems frustrated in so many various ways. He is out of his depth. He is not a snitch, per se. But he is very uncomfortable in the world that you live in. And doesn't know his way around.
I gotcha. So, thank you. All right. Well, it makes me sad to see him sad. And Ellie's perspective of the world is that we have doctors like Dr. Abernathy for pain on the outside, and we have whiskey for the pain on the inside. So
It's Rob's perspective of the world, as a matter of fact.
Wow. Yeah, I think you just quoted half the
just
stream's
use whiskey for
philosophy
everything.
on life.
Substitute IPA for Erik.
And then you get the other half.
I thought we used whiskey for everything.
So
All the pain.
yeah, she kind of leans in. She's got her face on her hands. She's looking at him, and she'll just do her little motion to catch our bartender across the room and kind of point your finger towards him.
You happen to catch his eye real quick, and as he does, he looks like he's been looking to catch your attention. And as you make a face for him, he kind of quickly throws a beckoning hand your way in response.
All right, I'm gonna turn to Hank. Sorry, 1 second, and just go ahead and get up and go over there.
Okay. It does not escape your notice that as you were heading that way, Hank prepares to pay his check, and is making motions like he intends to follow you at some point, as though he thinks that is the answer to his question.
He failed his psychology rule.
Yes.
Oh no, Hank, no. This isn't how I wanted this.
You are heading towards the bar. Let's go back to the bar. Jack Kealy is walking in. He is walking in to the in-progress conversation of Johnny Lawrence and Lena Lockwood. Johnny, Lena doesn't read headlines that don't have to do with herself. She completely believes that you are every bit the Hollywood icon that you believe yourself to be. And at times, that is very charming and endearing to have someone praise you so highly, and at times, it is a twisted knife, exactly, digging into the fact that it's no longer as true as you would like it to be. But she treats you perfectly like a contemporary, and begins to say, I have been talking about myself this entire time. Johnny, what have you been up to? What are you doing these days? What are you working on?
I'm really just kind of looking for my next big thing. My last big role, it just went on for so long, and I was starting to get afraid that I might get typecast that way. When you get typecast to something, that's just the death of your career, isn't it? Maybe you can still make some money, but there's just no chance for growth anymore. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to look for something that's going to let me branch out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah.
That was Jackie Blue, right? That was the character?
It was Jacques Rebleu. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the French the French secret agent. Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Jacques Rebleu.
I never heard it pronounced.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right.
It only ever came up on the cards,
Gesundheit, mister.
I have to say, John, we haven't been at the same parties or anything, and it's so nice to hear your voice. I never have before. Why didn't you make the switch with the rest of us? Why haven't you been in the talkies yet? Or have you? I just haven't seen it. I don't tend to go. Anything but my own premieres. There's so many of them. I just don't have the time.
It's just. I'm sure you have this problem as well. It's just so hard to decide. How you want to represent yourself. Whether you want to be in this role or that role, it's such a headache to make those selections from all the options that you have.
Options, so many. What do you do?
Yeah.
I usually just, I'd like to pretend that I have a bit more
you just do all of them. Yeah, you just take all the roles that are offered to you. Yeah,
not
yeah.
all of them.
And that's there's certainly one way to go about it. There's nothing really wrong with that.
Johnny, you really understand this business. It's nice to have a more experienced older gentleman, to sort of guide me through.
It's old.
She is burning you left and right, man.
Well, if you ever would like to have some advice or anything, you can just let me know. Hey, you know what? You said that you're supposed to be
You've been
meeting.
in this business so long compared to me, and you really have gone and seen it all.
You're supposed to be meeting with this guy about some new role that he has for you, like some new part or something. If you want me to maybe give you some advice on that, whether or not it's a good move for you in your career, longevity wise moving forward as an artist, then maybe you'll let me know what he says, if he's what that opportunity is for you, who it is you're going to be working alongside, whether or not they've decided on that yet. These are very important details.
Whether or not there's any opening supporting roles.
Exactly.
I'll let you in on a little secret. I am hoping to star in the next picture with but I'm hoping to direct as well.
That
now we'll probably have to have to have someone to work with me, you know, and someone whose name goes up at the credits
Sure,
and whatnot,
sure.
just so that it's taken seriously by all the critics. But
Mhm.
won't it be such a scandal when it comes out that I've actually directed my own film?
Well, you know, that's where the real money is. Of course, you know, the stars, you know, there's all this fame and recognition, but that can be taxing. You probably want to put that off on someone else.
Oh,
you
I
know.
find it wonderful, actually.
Oh yeah, and of course I do as well. It's isn't it just so invigorating as an actor to have all that fame and recognition, which you of course would still have as a director, but you know that's where the real money is. If you get into directing, producing, you get on the production side of things. And if you were to make some sort of transition like that, then maybe you would need an actor to sign with you. You know, hey, not a lot of actors are out there willing to take a risk on a new director. But you need to have someone that you trust, someone who has a lot of experience, and someone who has the star power to really bring in the audience. Someone who has a very recognizable face and a name that people have seen, perhaps in the same role over and over again over an extended period of time.
And a name made up of letters.
And a nose above two lips.
A guy with a face and stuff.
And he's got hair on top of his head. Crazy.
Yeah. It helps if they have a real pencil-thin mustache.
Something to draw the eye.
Yeah.
So I in Call of Cthulhu, more so than in Dungeons and Dragons, I am encouraged as the keeper to not call for rolls. I'm meant to just let the role play happen and to let you guys say when you would like to, when you're kind of doing something that might require it or you might suggest it. But if I think you are trying to either just like be her friend and charm the pants off of her, not literally, or to reasonably persuade her that this is something that she's going to need. Do you?
What if I literally wanted to?
I don't want a dame that wears pants. No.
There we go. So, what would you think?
People will talk. That's not good for
publicity.
publicity.
That you would like to roll here?
Charm or fast? That's weird. This is weird for me to be making suggestions. Maybe charm or fast talk.
I was feeling charm or persuade, so let's try a charm roll, if you would.
Okay, which of these looks like they hate me the least? I don't trust any of them. Okay. Usually I roll a set that matches, so here we go.
Do you want to spend the bonus die or no?
To get in good with Lena, yeah, let's try that.
Boom.
I would think so.
Let's try that. These ones, I don't roll them very much. Let's see if they're bitter about
It
it.
has been real good to have you back on the stream, even in the past hour and a half, Steve. The roleplay is great. How'd it go?
It's a 2.
Wow!
But it's not a 1. It's a 2.
I don't think you can buy your way into a critical success, can you? You just, yeah. So that is likely an extreme success for you, right?
Yes. Handily so.
So, a hard success, by the way, for the benefit of the people in the chat, is meant to be representative of something that a professional in this area would kind of be required for. An extreme success is indicative of best in the, like, some of the best on the planet. So Johnny Lawrence is absolutely persuasive and charming and just Hugh Grant levels of affable talking to Lena here at this hotel bar. She says, you know what? I don't know if you realize this, Johnny, but you're exactly that kind of person that you're talking about.
No!
That's great.
You think that I'm that sort of person?
I think you are.
I take that as such a compliment.
You know, there's probably...
It's so nice to have someone say something so complimentary and meaningful when you're so young and it's so early in your career.
Yes, and you know what? I think perhaps someone with your experience would be invaluable if, as you know, I'm just sort of starting out in this new world of telling stories, not just being a part of them. As you guys are reaching this point in the conversation, Mr. Kealy, you are walking through the door of the bar. You were walking straight past that closed sign, and you detect a movement down to your right. Down on the hotel lobby floor, someone is making their way towards the elevator. It occurs to you this is probably the person who was getting out of that cab that was pulling up behind you as you entered, before you were able to get yourself down here again so quickly. And you know how in the period pieces of the area, the Sam Spades of the world would have a woman walk into their office as a private eye, and you, as a private eye, would always like to have had that woman walk into the office, legs all the way down to the floor, in a voice like, it spells trouble, and, all of this. This broad
You
walks
can hear
into
the
the
trouble in
hotel.
her voice and see the walking on the leg.
The black dress, the black tights, the large sun hat, even though it's Chicago and the weather here is shit.
I've literally been in this film.
Yes,
Go
you
ahead.
have. Let's get a picture of her up here. Oh no!
I will mention to
I don't
both
have her.
Ellie
I'll have to fix that.
and Johnny, mark your skills that you've succeeded on. Put a little check mark next to them.
Yes, thank you, Mike.
Oh,
No problem.
Okay.
So you got a charm and I think a psychology.
Psychology.
I missed adding a NPC image. Give me a second here. I'm trying to add it very quickly. I know I made it. Actually, no, I didn't make it. Dang. All right, I will come back after the break and show her. In fact, why don't we? It is a little past 8:30. Why don't we take our break there? I will quickly fix the thing I need to fix. We can refill some drinks because I know mine's empty. Use the restroom and come back to the scene at the hotel bar. I don't have the art reel ready for this stream like I do on some of the other streams. Because some people in the chat and 3 of us on the screen, and we should talk about that more next time that we play. 3 of us on the screen are participants in a play-by-post server for the Misty Mountain Gaming and streaming communities, and there has already been a lot of art just from that play-by-post community. And I'm hoping to make a little reel of that for next time, so you'll have more entertaining things to watch next time. For now, I'm gonna flip you guys to a little intermission screen made by Sheepish Lamb, and let you guys enjoy that. And we'll be back here in a minute. Anything I'm forgetting or that I need to say before we go?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna see if my buttons over here work. We'll see you guys in a second. Bye.
As Evan said, I'd recognize that face anywhere.
That's my trick.
Hello.
No, that's unique to me.
One of these days, I will just leave the mic running through the break so y'all can hear the stuff that people say when the mics are off. No one heard what we were talking about, and it wasn't anything too bad. It's just. I'm fortunate to be playing with such hilarious people. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Misty Mountain Streaming's first ever game of Call of Cthulhu here in Hotel Excelsior in 1932's Chicago. Hope everybody's having a great time. I am definitely hearing myself through Steven's mic right now. Again, I don't know what has changed. Thank you to Sheepish Lamb, who gave us a cheer just a bit ago. I appreciate that very much. Once again, Sheepy, I continually call her Sheepy. I've never not called her Sheepy, and yet that is not her name. Is the one who made all this wonderful overlay for us.
Sheepish Lamb.
So well done, Sheepish Lamb.
It looks great.
It does look great.
For what?
I've
So
never
good.
really thought. Somehow, I've been on this channel for over a year, and I never really thought about that name, and I like it more now.
Sheepish Lamb, or because it's actually a little bit of a joke.
Only thought of it as the adjective, not the joke. That's just the sort of guy I am. Surface level. Don't read too much into things.
Yeah, you don't swim super deep. That's all right.
It's for swimming, not drowning.
For whatever reason, I'm going to try and get Miss Frances Boyle here on screen. She did not
Let
show up.
me
as I
tell you
wanted
about a
her to.
guy named Johnny Lawrence, trying to be a big-time actor.
That is what is that actor's name? I know who that should be. An enormous
It's,
mustache
Sam-
man. Sam somebody.
Sam Elliott.
There we go.
That's him.
Let's say much to Bliss's chagrin, I remember him mostly from The Big Lebowski, which he has not
Yeah,
seen.
oh man, that movie is classic.
Okay, there. All right, we've got it. I finally managed it. There, folks, is who just walked through the front door with her big black sun hat in her hand, her valise and her suitcase at her feet down there at those high black heels. Existential
buddy.
nerd, Erik, other Erik, what is going on, buddy? Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you for supporting our show. Erik and I stream together on Friday nights. We play some video games together. We've been doing it for ages now. Thank you for showing up. If you just got it, Diggy Squirrel got a subscription from him. If you watch our channel during the week now, Mike, no ads for you. You are muted. We cannot hear you. But thank you. Thank you, Erik.
Thank you very much. That's very kind.
Aloha.
So Erik, that is who is walking in, and you see as she is waiting to receive her key, she kind of looks up and kind of is looking for something to distract herself, entertain herself, amuse herself, and locks eyes with you as you're about to walk into the bar.
I almost stutter as I take in the vision that is Frances.
Yeah.
And but then I can't give in. I have to keep the momentum going or I'll fall over anyway. So I just continue straight into the bar. But I've registered that she's there. And and then I'm gonna walk straight to the bar and order drinks for Miss Lockwood and Mr. Lawrence and have them sent, give me 2 to them down there, whatever they're drinking.
Wonderful. All right. What are you drinking, by the way, Johnny? Are you drinking at all? Are you just trying to get Miss Lockwood liquored up?
See if I can make some bad decisions.
She's already made one. Is my impression.
Whoa. The roast.
I don't know if you can hear me all of a sudden. Johnny, what are you drinking?
Oh, sorry. What's Lena having?
That is a great question. She is going to be having a lemon vodka martini. Not quite a lemon drop.
Yeah, I'll have a gin martini.
There we
Shaken,
go.
not stirred.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So
In the Prohibition days, the difference in vodka and gin is just the label they put on the
Yeah.
bottle.
but hey,
No.
it is.
But vodka's a
Well,
woman's
gin would
So
have had
we're-
a lot of juniper in it.
No, I appreciate how cool Johnny was about a
Just the-
woman
Vodka would have
director,
been
by the
mostly just
way.
potato.
Yeah.
But
She really let you in on a big big to do there for the day. And that's why she was saying that she might have to have a man kind of in charge of things, have a man's name on the project. Our nephew and brother Adam is here in the chat. Hello, what's going on?
Hey, Adam, what's up, man?
He pops in now and again. I'm always happy to see him down here. He's cracking up at Johnny Lawrence, by the way.
which he recognizes the name. But my screen name was Jean Laurence.
That's right.
But no one can say that in Chicago. So Johnny Lawrence it is.
Yeah, as you are sitting there and laughing along with Miss Lena, who she doesn't realize is laughing at your expense, another drink arrives. And Lena looks to you as though, did you get this for me?
Absolutely. You look like you were getting low there. So yeah.
And right over Johnny's shoulder
They
stands.
just know. They just know. I have a tab here. They probably just knew. Yeah.
And immediately over Johnny's shoulder, Lena looks to a rather socially slighted Jack Kealy.
that's the tip of the hat thing, when she looks over.
Well, perhaps. Was it you, sir?
That's right.
Says,
And then I start moving closer.
she
Big fan. Big fan.
says, I don't believe I have had the pleasure. If you're a fan, I'm sure you don't need an introduction, but what is your name? Very
Kealy.
nice to meet you.
Jack Kealy.
And you see the light of recognition on her face. She's just beams like, Mr. Kealy, I have looked so forward to meeting you. Thank you for coming for all this way from Hollywood just to see little old me.
Well, I'm never alone in things like this. There's plenty of people that want to talk to you, but they thought it'd be okay if I came by myself.
Well, I am absolutely delighted that they sent you, and I'm sure you know Mr. Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, sure. Hey, Johnny.
Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Healy. Kealy, Mr. Kealy.
You bet.
So,
Lena.
I assume that you are the person that Miss Lamont was here to meet. Then
Miss Lockwood and I will be having a discussion.
Lamont.
Yes, absolutely.
Lockwood. Yeah. I'm stuck in Singing in the Rain.
Who is Lena Lamont? She sounds like someone who has a much higher pitched voice than I do. You probably can't
It'd
sing.
be much more difficult to role play.
People. She ain't people. She's less than people.
A shimmering, shining star in the cinema firmament.
No, that's me. It says so right there
Ah,
on my business card.
and this
My
is
God, it's
when
Mr.
we get a
Lawrence.
raid. At this moment. Out of this world, Dire GM. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? God, so glad this is the time.
Thanks for the raid.
Johnny, you guys were getting along fabulously. You had her eating out of your hand, and as soon as Mr. Kealy shows up, her attention is completely diverted. And she says, oh, "Yes, Johnny. Oh, and Mr. Kealy, we should absolutely have a talk with Mr. Lawrence while we're here. He is between projects at the moment, and he might be free to give us a hand with what you and I would like to talk about."
By choice, of
Well.
course. Yeah, just trying to find something that's going to be the right fit for me, moving forward.
Right.
And we're not-
I'm sure you've got the offers stacked up.
Yeah, and it's hard to make a selection sometimes. You really got to weigh your options.
Yeah, sure. Wouldn't want to rush into something, you know.
And it may
Oh.
be.
That Mr. Kealy seems like he's a very smart man. You know, he might be a good resource for you. You know, as well. Also,
Yes, I very
in
Yeah.
addition to
Mr. Johnny, would you excuse us for a moment?
Oh,
I do have some matters to talk
absolutely,
to,
absolutely. Yes,
Mr.
you
Kealy
you
about
two
on
go
my
ahead and have a
own.
little
Thank you
conversation.
so much for being so understanding.
Yes, of course, you and I can catch up later on. You know, I'm staying in room 807. That's just not right down the hall from you, isn't that right?
I believe that's right. Says, well,
Well, we're on the same
What?
floor when she was coming into the hotel, the elevator.
yes, it was, and I have her room. This is what I get for actually writing stuff down in a notebook. Guys, I have to find the right page. Now she says, why, as it happens, I'm staying in room 806. We are neighbors.
Neighbors. Oh, how sad. It seems like fate. Fate, I tell you, that you and I just wound up here together.
Well, we absolutely must continue to catch up, Mr. Lawrence. It's been so wonderful talking to you, but Mr. Kealy and I have some things to discuss. And she turns as though that is the end of the conversation. Says,
Of course,
now, Mr.
I'll just
Kealy.
be over here.
Perhaps we should go
I go like
somewhere.
2 tables
more
away. Stop there.
Says, oh, wherever you would like to have the conversation, Mr. Kealy. Where would you be most comfortable?
Well, what about you, Miss Lockwood? I mean, you're the big star. I obviously want you to be comfortable. Just
Well-
don't want to have a bunch of prying ears.
Right, of course. We should be furtive about this, at least until everything is squared away.
Indeed.
Fortunately, this hotel bar does not seem to be incredibly busy. Perhaps. Are you a drinking man, Mr. Kealy? I don't want to assume.
Oh, yeah.
Says, well, you did buy me this drink after all, and thank you very much for that. What would you like to have?
Oh, I'll take a bourbon neat.
Eavesdropping on the conversation, like every bartender ever that's worth anything, and who is wildly lacking entertainment in this hotel bar at the moment. Mr. Byers goes and begins to pour you a bourbon. Neat. And it arrives to you shortly thereafter. And
Jack always makes sure to tip well.
nice, excellent. That, as someone like many people on this stream who have bartended in their lives, I appreciate that. Even in completely fictitious characters, I appreciate that.
Yes, yes.
She begins to have a bit of a discussion with you, and of course, Jack. Really, this is foreplay.
Indeed.
This is you entertain her. You listen to what she has to say. You nod when you should nod. You shake your head when you should shake your head. You wine her and dine her and keep her happy because she is a valuable asset to the studio. But you're paying attention to more than just Lena at this moment. Why don't you let's roll a thing. Let's have you roll
right.
Spot Hidden, which is for people coming over from the D&D world. This is sort of the visual perception check here, and I'll tell you some interesting things about what is going on from where you are sitting. So it should be
Wait, which one am I?
should be all the way on the right-hand side of your character sheet, about midway down. Spot Hidden.
Oh, spot hidden. Yes. Okay. Yes. I have. I have an 80 there.
An 80. Oh my!
Jeez.
I forgot how good you are at stuff. All right. You may not need your bonus die, but you have one if you wish to spend it. Grab your percentile dice. Grab a second of the tens number if you're wanting to use the bonus die. Let me know if you are or aren't. And you're hoping to just roll below 80.
I did not do that. I rolled 84. So I will use it. and see if I can go lower.
Alrighty.
74.
74 is a success when you're as good at noticing stuff as Jack Kealy is.
Oh, yes, there it goes. It's gone.
So, once again, you are not alone in this bar. As you are having this conversation with Miss Lockwood, a young woman, dolled up, and seeming exceptionally comfortable walking into a bar alone, moseys in. Miss Ellie Walker saunters up to the bar several seats down from you to give you a little bit of privacy and to have a word with the bartender, who begins whispering something into her ear because he had called her over a moment ago. You notice, following her several steps behind, is a young Cary Grant-looking fellow who seems very uncomfortable walking into a bar. Like he has genuinely never done it before. His head is on a swivel, like he's expecting a cop to come out from behind the ashtray and arrest everyone in the place. And he tries to pick a spot kind of away from everything in the shadow that's not visible from the door. And just looks extremely furtive. You also notice that there are two gentlemen on kind of a high-top table, about as far from everyone else in the place as they can possibly be. There are two cocktails sitting in front of them, one in front of each of them, remaining completely untouched. One of the gentlemen has a notebook in front of him and is scribbling furiously in it. The other one has a book, like a not a notebook to fill in, but like, you know, something that has already been filled in, a written, published book, who is leaning over and reading from it and talking to his dinner companion. The two of them look like these people. This gentleman rarely speaks. He is wearing wireframe glasses. When he does speak, it is quietly, and it's hard to make out what he's saying, but you hear a rich southern accent when he does. Speaking of accents, his companion is a also aged gentleman, even older than the other, who speaks with, to your ear, a repressed European accent, German or Austrian, also trying to speak in very low tones, as though even in this quiet bar, as removed from everyone else as they can be, as though they do not wish their conversation to be overheard. You also take note that the tall, dark woman has made her way to the elevator and is going upstairs. All of these things you notice as you are tuning out the many syllables that Miss Lockwood is throwing your way.
Yes. Well, of course, the
pardon.
studio.
I hate to interrupt you, but I should also note that a man in a smart gray jacket is now making his way towards the bar, followed by a man in a less smart, less gray jacket.
Holding a chessboard.
Holding a chessboard with an audaciously green bow tie.
It goes with anything, obviously.
I had a thing to say, and it's too soon. It's only been several months. Anyway, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
All right, I'm
Listen,
sorry, Erik. Go ahead.
The studio, of course, wants to hear all your great plans. We have to talk about deals and whether or not your agent will pick up the phone. It's been pretty tough. So, what do you think? You think you're going to be able to work with us?
Well, let me just say that I know that it's a risk allowing someone like me to have that much creative control over a project, but I think that there's a certain amount of pedigree and a certain amount of experience that I've had working in front of the camera and around the camera and with various directors, that it's something that I could pretty comfortably achieve. And I know it's a risk, but your willingness to go out on a limb for me, it just says so much about you, and it's very reaffirming, and it just means the world to me, Mr. Kealy. I know it wasn't your decision, but I can't thank everyone that you represent, so I will just have to thank you.
Oh, well, all in a day's work, madam. Please, another.
Yeah, she takes the bracing remaining sip from her martini, as Mr. Byers hands you another neat bourbon.
And her.
And begins to shake up another martini for her. Paul wanders just a few steps over towards Ellie and repeats, says, I'm telling you, I don't know what they're on about, but it's just sort of strange, don't you think? I mean, those two, I mean, all this time, this seems to be the first conversation they've had, and they've been talking like they're old friends, like they've known each other their whole lives. They've been there for hours. They were here when I got here. I don't know who let them in. And he's indicating the two gentlemen in the far-off high top.
Interesting. But he came over and he's saying that to me.
He did.
Yeah.
As he's whispering over the shaking of the martini.
Yeah, so she's got like leaned into the counter, and she's like got her head turned towards him, but she's looking at him out of the corner of her eyes. I'm sorry. I honestly think my ears might be bleeding from that girl that was just over there, and her mouth was open for 30 minutes straight. I'm sorry. You said they've been here for hours?
It's a good thing she's pretty, because she's just about insufferable. I tell you, as she drinks, it's getting worse.
It's making me regret talkies ever coming out. So, what do you think's their deal?
Speaking of which, well, that's Johnny Lawrence. Over there at the other end.
Johnny Lawrence?
You not know? We gotta talk later. Coming right up,
we
sir.
talk all the time.
And he steps away to fill up that martini glass. Travis moves towards your usual seat in the bar. Are you a booth guy, table guy, a high top guy?
I imagine we're just table people. Nothing, booths are a little too romantic, and high tops draw attention to yourself. We'll just go with the table.
He moves to your table and he begins setting up the chessboard. He's not setting it up clean. He's setting up how it was in the room upstairs where you were in the middle of yet another game, because y'all brought one board game when you came to the hotel, and it was chess.
You don't need anything but chess.
No, certainly you don't. He has offered so many times to go purchase checkers and backgammon and Chinese checkers and
cards.
Basically anything, because he is so incapable of beating you at chess. But he is allowing you, the great tipper, to go and purchase drinks for the two of you while he puts the board together. And you wind up sliding. It's not a terribly large bar here on the mezzanine as opposed to in the Midas Club. And you wind up taking the available spot. The bar is kind of a little bit crowded tonight. Ellie is here, who you recognize, even if you were welcome to decide amongst yourselves how familiar you are. You've both been here for quite some time.
Like I said, he's friendly to everybody. He's not. It's a weird balance between not trying to make friends and being extremely friendly to everybody.
then that is it is likely then that y'all have spoken at some point, if not really gotten to know one another. But you kind of have to situate yourself between Ellie and Johnny, who has given a little bit of space away from the stranger who is speaking to star of the silver screen, Lena Lockwood, who is at the bar tonight. But Mr. Byers sees you, and he is in the middle of pouring Miss Lockwood's martini, and departs that as quickly as he can to come over and see what you need tonight, because he knows what side his bread is buttered on. Well,
since I insist that everyone call me Dr. Abernathy, I don't call anyone by their first name. Right. And I say, I first say, good evening, Miss Walker, Mr. Byers, Monsieur Laurent.
Doctor.
Dr.
And
Doctor.
I slide a $10 bill out and say, 2 very dry martinis, please.
He accepts that $10 bill readily. And he might leave it. Normally, he sneaks that down very quickly, just in case anyone has any ideas of where he puts it or noticing it. But now that there's a Hollywood man and Miss Lockwood is here and Mr. Lawrence is here, kind of lets that linger just a little bit so everyone can see what protocol is around here for tipping Mr. Byers, what the standard is. It's been set.
If I notice that he's rushing her drink to get to mine, I try to give him, a side eye to take his time. In fact, I tell him, just take your time. I know you're not used to being this busy. I'm glad you are. I'm sure it's good for business.
Oh, I can handle it, Doctor. Just wanted to make sure you didn't have to wait any longer than necessary.
It's fine. We have another 22 minutes.
Right. Well, want to make sure you can finish one in that time, so I'll have it over. Is Mr. Cole winning finally?
No, he most certainly isn't. He will be beaten in 7 moves.
I don't doubt you, Doctor. Those martinis are coming right up.
Wonderful. Thank you all. Good night, Miss Walker.
And here I sit, looking at that $10 bill and thinking my next role might have to be as a bartender.
And I go back to my table.
Ellie kind of calls out to him as he leaves. Just, hey, don't be a stranger.
I look back and smile. But I have no idea how to respond to that, so I don't.
I've never not been a stranger in my life. Oh, gosh. Existential Nerd wants to remind us that martinis are stirred, not shaken.
That's true. Absolutely. It's the kind of pedantic thing that I would point out if I thought of it, so thank you very much.
It is. I think Erik was not here when I said I am not an expert on the 1930s. And Paul Byers may not be an expert bartender, let's face it.
I don't know if martinis were invented. I assume they were.
I mean, gotta be, right?
Gotta be an old drink.
I mean...
Martinez, California.
By the 40s, they had them, because Gatsby had one.
Absolutely.
Book ever written. Martinis invented in the 1800s, so you're good.
Right, boom, got it.
This is my function on the stream now.
We're going to learn so much about alcohol.
The more you know.
It seems.
I looked up when operators really need more, when they had blue curacao, when the French Secret Service was invented.
Kind of shocked they had blue curacao. I'm going to be real with you. It's a little...
And they couldn't come up with a better name.
That was excitement back then, man. Come on.
It's the name of an island where it was produced.
We figured out how to make blue. Fucking A! Put it in everything!
I've never seen blue before. Blue was invented in the... Oh my gosh.
Eureka!
That's why he's wearing a gray jacket on Tuesday.
This immediately.
Blue had just come out.
Hold up, everyone. Blue is the new green. I'm gonna have to get my tie in one of those.
Blue and green are the same.
Hollywood types wear blue.
The keen-eyed among you will notice a few more things happening here as Mr. Byers makes his way around the bar to deliver drinks to Dr. Abernathy's table. The elevator door opens up, and
Ding.
3 people depart the elevator and head in different directions. Mr. Kealy, the woman from the lobby, is making her way towards the bar. The sun hat is gone now, the luggage has been put away, and she is sashaying, is the only way to put it, towards the bar where all of you are sitting. Simultaneously, and Ellie, you notice this as well, 2 men have departed the elevator and been making their way towards the stairs from Avalon to the Midas Club and Casino. One of the men looks like so. Let me find him. He is tall, he is broad-shouldered, he is in his mid to early 30s, well put together, just dripping with a sense of, I don't know how to put it, he has such strong...
He even has a funny walk and stuff.
Thank you for noticing. Hooray. See, now I feel good about having put different people's photos in here. He has a swagger to him that can only be described as protagonist energy. Like, there should be cameras following this man around wherever he goes, documenting everything he does. Walking next to him is a shorter man. Shorter by almost a foot. But a man who nevertheless exudes a command of every room he enters. And that is the man you were hoping to see tonight. That is Mr. Lorenzo Ricci. They're making their way. Oh no! The overlay broke. We lost one. I put her boyfriend on.
Ellie.
I put her boyfriend on the screen, and all of a sudden, she drops off the call. There's Steve in Ellie's screen.
Yeah.
Ah, boy. I hope she returns. Is her camera gone, or is she out of the call?
I don't even see her here.
She is gone.
Completely out.
Okay.
She's out of
She
Discord.
gone.
Yeah.
She's
back.
gone. Oh, wait. She back.
There we go. Family Fantasy RPG, what's going on? Hello! Yes, I'm sure you know well the struggle of, I'm sure you know well the struggle of this stuff.
By the way, those are really fun for those of you that have kids that you want to get them involved in D&D. They do a lot of really cool adventures that are meant for you and your kids to play.
Oh, perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah, some of them are only like $3-4. I mean, I was like, oh wow, that's a cool little campaign.
I'm listening.
I mean, I guess maybe more one shot. I guess. Anyway,
You have Steve's attention.
oh, it's really coll. He's an extremely nice guy. We actually played one of his one shots where we were dinosaurs, and then you had a writer or a partner, and so that way you could do it with your kids if you wanted. The kids could be the dinosaurs.
That's right
and
up
run and
Steve's
smash
kids'
stuff.
alley.
Oh yeah, the dinosaurs are the thing. Dinosaurs and Sonic the Hedgehog.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
we
Sometimes
played
Spider-Man.
Sonic the Hedgehog yesterday, today, but
Every day.
yeah, okay.
Anyway,
Sorry
good-
about
good
that.
people.
It's good to know
Check
you're
it out.
raising them right.
Okay.
It's okay, Katie.
What-
Yes, one
What I missed?
Lorenzo Ricci is heading towards the Midas Club and Casino along with that strapping gentleman that he was with. It is dinner time has passed, drinking time has passed. It is nearing 7:30. Lorenzo and I think you would recognize, at least Ellie, you would recognize Buck. Dr. Abernathy, you've been here for a while and you have seen the man. Probably never spoken to the man. He's certainly never spoken to you. But they are heading up to get their gamble on, to play some cards. That being said, the door swings open and heads turn as the dark woman enters the room. She gives a quick look around. You notice good old Hank Martin, the awkward fellow from dinner, also notes that she comes in and tries not to stare and fails terribly. And she makes her way to a corner booth, sets a little handbag down on the table, folds her hands, crosses her legs, and seems to be waiting. Johnny, you've been excused from the conversation. Got a quick hello from Dr. Abernathy. What are you up to now? Are you just trying to eavesdrop on the convo between Mr. Kealy and
Yeah,
Miss
I've been
Lockwood?
waiting. I was going to say, since I'm the one who gets to decide when I roll now, I would like to listen in and hear about, Lena's misplaced confidence about her ability to enter the business as a woman based on credibility alone.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you do a
Skill
listen,
and reputation
please?
don't give you what you need to get started in a business, and apparently that is between your legs. So, in this era anyway. So let's see if that might be something that I can provide, that little bit of credibility that
You're
wasn't
looking
born
to
with.
provide a little bit of something in between your legs. Yes, please listen.
That's
Heyo.
what I heard.
Fum, 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 fum.
Oh, by the way, I should have something a little right up here because
Should
Mega
you?
Gorilla Dude helped me out.
Mega Gorilla Dude, our map artist friend. There it is. Thank you for helping me notice things. Johnny on the spot, of course. I have had, what did I call it earlier? Stress bourbon for the first episode.
It's really hard to tell from
I
your
think the phrase is
excitement
medicinal
bourbon and your
bourbon.
sadness bourbon.
I feel attacked.
All the bourbons are the same.
Yeah.
This is right.
It makes it so I don't feel pain.
I will say for
Mentally or physically, I'm turning into the Smiths.
Is it if I have to
Sorry.
if I have to work this hard to keep myself alive, so does my liver.
That's right.
I have
Why you tell him, Ellie?
oh yeah, that's GW.
Yeah.
That's Fable 42 when Fable 42 shows up, isn't it? Hey GW.
Yes. Yeah, G-Dub's here.
I'm off by one again from it being a better level of success, but it's still a success.
But
just
still a
regular.
success. Okay, don't tease me like that, Stefan. Did you use the thing right here, or did you?
Which
just
podcast
have
are
it?
you on? You're the one who never says anything plainly. Yes, I'm not using it though. I mean, I know it's like the end of the stream, but maybe. Well, no, it is the end of the stream. Screw it. I'll roll another one. Okay, yeah. It's a regular success,
Regular success. Okay.
and I'll remember this one's in timeout.
So yeah, you were able to catch good bits of Jack and Lena's conversation. She,
It's mostly her.
yeah, it is a lot of her, as Mr. Byers pointed out.
I don't know. I feel like either Kealy is a
Ellie
man of
walking
few
out.
words, or he just doesn't get much of a chance.
It's somewhere between the two at the moment. Both are.
I feel like
Yeah.
One is true, but it is also irrelevant in the present.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Lena and I are both not meant for talkies for totally different reasons. Okay, but she's kind of left me out high and dry, and I think I've probably got another good 15 minutes of time in between when Kealy gets to say something again. So that's 15 minutes that I can make time with this new handsome broad that just walked in.
That is possibly true. I will say, from this conversation, we've kind of covered what's going on with it with Kealy. You have absorbed what you wish to absorb from that about her eagerness and how she's kind of putting herself out there and how she is nervous that this could go sideways, but excited for the opportunity. But yeah, she's definitely got some confidence issues when it comes to entering this new realm. Not just because of artistic humility, but also because of
and it seems like
society.
Seems like he would be doing her a favor to let her get started in this industry, but it sounds like he wants something from her, which is interesting. Got to figure out what that's all about.
Well, it's about that time that I then say to Miss Lockwood, it looks like people are going to the casino. Why don't we go have some fun at this Midas thingy, whatever it's called?
She says, "Oh, I've never much been one for cards, but if you would like to go, I'd love to join you."
Well, let's go, milady.
She happily hooks her arm inside of your elbow to be escorted and tries to ignore how rough your coat is compared to fabrics she is accustomed
Yes,
to.
yes. And as I pass the table with the pretty lady, I just drop my card as we walk out.
There you go. Slick.
Slick.
That whole arm in arm thing, that was our thing.
So, that leaves you guys are heading off towards the casino. I do want to get to the casino before we're done with the evening stream, but the three of you that remain in the bar, what are you all up to?
Are these guys over in the corner who are scribbling in the notebook and reading from the book, are they obvious? Or, I mean, have I noticed them?
It would be difficult not to. They're not.
That's what kind of the impression I got.
They're trying to kind of keep to themselves. And it occurs to you, if they're going to be having such a private conversation, this is an odd space to be having it. But for whatever reason, this is where they are. This is what they're doing, and they seem to be off in their own little world. And the ice in their drinks have melted, and they're probably ruined now. And they don't seem to care or give any thought to it.
When Mr. Byers brings the drinks over, I kind of nudge him. I gotta grab his sleeve before he walks off and say, "Are those new guests at the hotel?" And I bring towards those guys.
Well, between you and me, Doctor, compared to you, they're new. They've been here a few days each. Seem to make each other's acquaintance in here a couple of nights ago. They began talking to one another. See, and then the conversation started getting more heated, but more quiet. Whatever the two of them have in common seems to be pretty important to them, and they seem to not want to share.
Neither is a reporter, is he? Whenever I see someone scribbling in a notebook, I clench up.
They don't have the air, sir.
I agree. They seem a little frantic.
Well, see the one with the pen. My understanding, he's a Georgian. He's a preacher down there or something. He's up here because something happened with his family. Kind of come up here to get away from it all. The other fella, a little less sure about, talks funny. He's not from around here. Like, really not from around here. What the two of them have in common, I couldn't guess. They clam up pretty quick when I come around. And I say, nope. They've normally had 2 or 3 by now, but I guess whatever they're reading over there is damn interesting. Pardon my saying, Doctor.
I curse occasionally as well, Mr. Byers. It's quite all right. Sometimes it's even called for.
Travis chuckles at that.
So, well, if you can't extract, a bartender of your experience can't extract information from those two, then certainly I never would, but I do find them curious. I'll keep a watchful eye on them.
There's anything I can tell you about them, Doctor? I will, if you've taken an interest, I will absolutely keep eyes and ears peeled for them.
How about the lovely woman that just joined us? Do you know her? Another actress? There seems to be quite a bit of Hollywood types in the hotel these days.
I wish I could say I did know her. She's new to me.
All right, well, you're busy. I'll let you return to work.
As you were saying,
and I without looking at the chessboard, I say, Queen's Knight to Knight Pawn 7 or whatever, and just have him make the move. And then I go, you don't want to trade queens with me. Think about it.
Travis's hand is over the board. and retreats to scratch his shaven chin. As he struggles to contemplate why he doesn't want to trade queens with you, because he was rather excited about the prospect, as a matter of fact. But he happily moves your piece for you before doing so. As you were finishing speaking with Myers and saying that you were going to be keeping an eye on these people, the conversation between these two ends. The gentleman with the notebook closes it, carefully puts the notebook in one breast pocket, the pen in another, and without so much as a nod or a shaken hand, exits the bar. And the foreign gentleman steps away from the high top, walks 2 tables over to the booth with the newcomer young woman, and sits down and begins having a conversation. Just equally as furtive, but not as frantic, as the one he just left.
And which one was writing in the notebook and which one had the
I will flash
source
their
material?
pictures up to you again. They have names.
Well, of course, I don't know them.
But of course, you don't know them.
But the European gentleman or the Georgian, which was the
Georgian,
scribbler?
the Georgian leaves, which is the scribbler, and then the man with the book tucks it under his arm. The European gentleman. Why is that not showing up when I? Let me try.
That's all right. I remember them.
Okay, this is the European gentleman with the book, and he is the one speaking to the attractive young woman. And then Mr. Carver. Ah, that is the wrong Mr. Carver. That is why. Mr. Carver puts the notebook away and leaves.
Gotcha. Those who know me at all know I take copious notes. So when I'm looking down and doing this, it's because I'm scribbling.
Speaking of taking copious notes and trying to notice things, would you make a spot hidden roll for me as well?
Certainly will, and I will go ahead and use my bonus dice as well. Because why not? I need to notice something tonight. Oh, all right. That is a 14 on my spot hidden, which is a half roll. So that's a hard roll.
A hard roll. All right. It is made up of so many innocent moves that only a man of your powers of perception, with your attention to detail, might notice exactly what happens. The woman's purse moves slightly as she leans forward to have a conversation. The man sets his book down on the table. The book is open for just a moment, as though he's idly searching for something. Never the center of their attention. She opens the bag for a moment, as though searching for a lighter for the cigarette she produces from it. And in the middle of all of this, the book is opened to a page where there is a cavity in the pages, and something from that handbag goes into the book. The book is closed.
How very odd.
The man greets the woman. He left his hat on the table, puts it on his head, and something that was in the hat winds up in the lady's purse. And then he leaves to follow his friend, and not even 2 minutes later, the woman is making ready to leave the bar.
If I heard his voice at all, I make an attempt to determine his country of origin, but that's really all I've got at this point. I'm not going to follow them. Not sure what else I can do, but I do ask Travis, did you notice that exchange?
Says, as a matter of fact, I did, and now I see why I shouldn't have taken your queen.
I make sure that I audibly sigh.
He was completely enraptured by the game.
That's fine. I tell him what I saw off screen.
You want to place that accent. There are language skills, and there is a listen skill. What do you think you are employing here more than the other?
Yeah, I don't know. I know there are language skills, and I don't think there's any base use of any of them.
I think that's more for like translation and such.
Yeah.
Though.
I mean, I speak Latin. So if it is a Latin-based language, I might could figure it out. I'm well traveled, but that's all I can come up with. Maybe history.
We can do history if you want, or I'll give you a bonus die to whatever your listen is, based
Let's just
on
do
your
that.
familiarity with different languages and accents from around the world.
For a listen, no, I fail, and it's
No?
not close enough to try to fix it.
You place it somewhere near the Mediterranean in the Baltics, but more specific than that, you can't really say. Just kind of given the political climes of the past decade, German-ish.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. Just World War I, obviously.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
of course we don't call it that, do we?
You're right. I was going to say I'm going to fail at that at some point on this show, not calling it the Great War.
I heard myself saying it and was like, wow, I know there's going to be another World War.
Somebody had to. Hey, Stronghold D&D, how's it going? Welcome. All right. Travis loses the game, by the way, in 7 moves, as predicted.
7 moves. Would have been faster if he had traded queens. I didn't even think he was that dumb.
It's his loyalty more so than his intellect. That's why you keep him around. Ellie, Lorenzo has wandered off towards the casino. You are vaguely aware of the comings and goings from the bar, less than so the specifics. You've had your drink. Paul has intimated his concerns and his hot gossip for the evening to you. Where are you off to, and what are you doing? Or do you remain? Are you interested in interacting with anyone here? Is it time to go?
What happened to Hank?
I was about to say, Hank. I'm not really interested in talking to Hank again, but I did want to make sure that he got a very fruity drink.
Okay.
And I would like to see. I want to look at him, see what he does when he drinks it. How he's looking.
Okay.
What his face is like.
If you are keeping an eye on Hank, Hank seemed very uncomfortable. Hank seemed very out of his element. Hank seemed bewildered, and his eyes were just everywhere. When the woman walks in and sits alone, he becomes very focused. He becomes almost serene in his singleness of mind. And when a fruity drink arrives to him, not a drinker, he pounds that thing like a champ. Like he believes and has heard that it is liquid courage. As though he is persuading himself to get himself into some entanglement.
Mustering all of his courage.
Yeah.
Just imagine all these pineapples and strawberries in his face while he's trying to pound it.
It's a kiwi coconut.
Yeah, I'm loving just watching Hank live his best life. But unfortunately for Hank, once Lorenzo is in this room, my attention no longer cares about him. So if he is going to the casino type area, I will be following him. Extremely insulted if he did not stop and say hi on his way down there.
He did not say hi, unfortunately. He walked in the company of that rather rugged gentleman towards the bar without so much as a word or glance sideways.
Yes. Ellie is quite insulted, and she will lean into Paul and say, "Can you believe this guy?" Ugh. And then she still follows him.
Which guy? as she walks away. Johnny, you're the only person at the bar right now. There's other people in the bar, but you're the only person on a stool now that everyone else has left.
Yep. And that means that I don't have much reason to be here much longer. Because in Prohibition era, the whiskey is really too rich for my blood. So,
It occurs to you now. Lorenzo is not someone that you have failed to notice, even in the short time that you are here. He, like Dr. Abernathy, tends to keep to a fairly regular schedule and is almost unseen in the few days that you have been here, except for going to the Midas Casino at 7:30. You know that what he's doing in there is gambling, and he seems to have money, and you seem to not.
mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
I didn't know if you were building to something there.
Nope, that was it.
Yeah, I can't
Life
sit
of
at
an
that
actor.
guy's table. That is for sure. But, it would be nice to, because if I could sit at his table, then I could rub shoulders with him, something like that. But, so is the dame still there?
The
Or
dame
the
is
dame
still
live
there.
on?
She
Dame's
is
still there?
She has not ordered a drink. She's had a conversation with some old fart who walked up to her. Said a few things, probably a little pervy, probably hit on her. She probably turned him down. He beat it out of there pretty quick. She hadn't made herself comfortable. Paul went to check on her, and she didn't order a drink, so I guess she doesn't plan on staying.
Yeah. Well, that would be something I would probably take advantage of if all the people who I was here to see weren't going into the other room, I guess. So, seeing Kealy dropped off his card with her. I feel like if I don't go into the other place, I might miss something. So I think I'll just
FOMO.
along.
Okay.
Maybe what?
He said FOMO.
Oh yeah, pretty much that. Yeah. I will use what little money is available to me to. Okay, no, she didn't buy a drink. Never mind. Yeah, she's not staying. I'll go to settle my tab and ask the bartender. Hey, this dame back here, the one sitting by herself, doesn't seem to want anyone to come up and talk to her and not order a drink. Does she come around here often and do that?
Is first of all, Mr. Lawrence, big fan. But no, she. No, I
Heard.
It's so nice to be recognized all the way out here.
Oh, you're a star, Mr. Lawrence, of course. But no, I'm afraid I haven't seen her before. Wish I had.
Yeah, that's a shame. I've got to keep up with my friends, my associates. They didn't leave me behind. They just went on ahead. I've got to go and keep up with them. So I was hoping that she might still be here when I got back, but I guess there's no chance of that happening.
Would you like me to find out how long she's staying here, Mr. Lawrence?
If she is staying here,
I can ask Miss Templeton.
If she is staying here, that would be something I'd be interested in knowing. Yes.
I'll find out right away, Mr. Lawrence. And he puts his hands down and he vaults over the bar.
I am so glad that I didn't have to slide that guy a bill in order to get him to help me out, because I would have had trouble parting with a 1 in a way that Abernathy doesn't have trouble parting with a 10.
No, the only people left in this bar is her and some people that are generally uninteresting. So he darts off to find out for you.
Okay, good.
For Mr. Lawrence, of course.
Yeah. And what was this guy's name again? I don't think I have him on my list of people that I have personally met.
This is Mr. Paul Byers. He is the mezzanine bartender.
So have I talked to Paul before?
Not enough for Paul.
Not
for
enough,
Paul's
because
liking.
he still seems starstruck and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
and he is older than me or
hasn't
younger
wanted-
than me.
Remind me how old you are?
Oh shoot, I think I was like 31.
He's probably just older than you.
Oh, and hey there, bub. Why don't you let me know if she's gonna be staying around, and let her know where my room is.
Absolutely, Mr. Lawrence.
You get All right,
I'll ask Joe then where your room is.
If she wants to find me, then I'll be in the Midas Club, and if she wants to find me later, room 807.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lawrence.
And I'll leave for the club, and I'll be very happy with myself that freaking worked somewhere. Hey, if it works on if Paul's impressed by that move, maybe she'll be impressed by that.
He seems like an easier audience.
Yeah, he is. He's a fan.
Mm-hmm.
He rushes off to Miss Templeton down at the front desk to find out what you want him to find out. And as you leave, you see her picking up the card that was left on her table and kind of turning it over in her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Slick motherfucker.
At the Midas
All right,
Club.
I head into the Midas Club.
As you walk into the Midas Club, this place, like much of the hotel, is pretty well a ghost town. You see that there is roulette in the casino. You see that there is baccarat in the casino. There are various tables for various games. There's 4 or 5 people who are here to help deal and whatnot, and most of them are sat down with a book. There's a few other guests of the hotel amusing themselves at other tables. Lorenzo's table is right up front, and he is playing poker. He is always and will only ever play poker. With Mr. Ricci, Mr. Ricci is Mr. Ritter. Mr. Ritter is a professional dealer who, Ellie, you would have known him because the man is drunk as a skunk as often as humanly possible without expiring from blood alcohol poisoning. And even now, the visor is somewhat askew. The tie is not centered, but he and Lorenzo, you suspect, have a relationship, and so Ritter is the only dealer for Ricci's table.
Sounds shady.
Meanwhile, the enormous grade A All-American boy is sitting there with Mr. Ricci, and is fastidiously dressed. Not in anything terribly expensive, but assembled in an immaculate way. And they seem to be in progress of getting the first hand dealt as... Pardon me. As you are walking in, just behind Mr. Kealy and Miss Lockwood, and will be followed by the others momentarily. So Mr. Kealy and Miss Lockwood, you guys arrive, and as you enter, Mr. Ricci actually rises, seeing the two of you come in, and says, "What a pleasure this is, Miss Lockwood, in our little hotel. Please, if you would be so kind, join us at my table. Be wonderful to be able to spend some time in such esteemed company. I don't believe I've had the pleasure, Mister."
Oh, me? Kealy. Real pleasure.
Mr. Kealy, very nice to meet you. Please, Please
It's
make
a
yourself at
handshake that almost is intimidating.
home. He meets it well. His hand is significantly smaller than yours, but he grips it back for all he's worth. He seems like a man who is used to doing the intimidating, and maybe a little disappointed that you were unaware of that fact. He says, "Mr. Kealy, please have a seat. Miss Lockwood, if I may." And he takes a couple steps out and pulls out the chair for Miss Lockwood, lets her sit down before returning to his seat. Says, "My name is Mr. Ricci. Please call me Lorenzo. And this is my good friend, Mr. Buchanan." And Mr. Buchanan stands up as both of you sit. Says, "Please, call me Buck. Nice to meet you, Mr. Kealy, and Miss Lockwood, of course. Very nice to meet you."
Thanks, Buckaroo.
He flashes a perfect white set of teeth.
Buckaroo.
Says, "Hold him your game, Mr. Kealy."
Sure.
Says, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that if you're going to be playing with us. Now, right, I'll
Really?
do my best to take your money anyhow."
Couple of card sharps, are ya?
I wouldn't say that, just lucky is all.
Can't wait to try it.
Mr. Ricci declines to answer about the card sharks thing. "Mr. Ritter, deal if you would, please." And what a vision. "Miss Walker, have you met our friends?" And he kind of holds his hand out, inviting you to the table.
Yeah, Ellie has been waiting for her chance to jump into this conversation. She is not interested in gambling, but she is interested in herself being in between Lorenzo and Miss Lockwood. She will come over
What luck! There's a chair right there in between them.
right where she's gonna slip into. Yeah, she'll come over, kind of sit down. I assume if it was allowed, has carried her drink in from the other room with her.
Yeah, no one's gonna stop you. You made this stuff.
It's true.
Mr. Ritter nods to you, and Mr. Lorenzo makes introductions around. Says, "This is Miss Lockwood, who I assume you know. This is Mr. Kealy, and of course you remember Buck. You may not remember Buck, but you've seen him around." He and Lorenzo seem to have bonded lately purely over the desire to gamble.
Well, guess it's nice to meet everybody. Are we what's happening? Are we playing a game? What's happening right here?
It's awesome.
Are you playing with us tonight, Ellie?
Nah, I think I'd just be a good luck charm. And she like kind of is holding on to his arm or something.
Says, as he kind of looks down at you holding his arm and says, "Well, I hope I don't need the luck, but I'll be happy to have it."
Well, you know what they say. Better to have it and not need it.
Johnny, you're walking in, and Dr. Abernathy, you were heading this way as well, or?
Well, I explained to Travis what I saw with the weird sort of espionage-esque exchange. Like, it seemed completely unnecessary for them to so surreptitiously exchange those two items.
Oh, incredibly, yes.
So I tell Travis what they did, and I'm like, this seems a strange night, don't you think? That there's all this unnecessary spy shit going on.
That one wasn't necessary.
Well, I think it was because this is an awfully odd night. The place seems packed with Hollywood types. There's something going on here tonight, and I think the only place we'll find information is in the casino. So I'm going to. You've gambled in the army, right?
I've done my share.
I pull
A
out
lot
my
easier
wallet.
than chess.
I give him $20 and I say, well, it may be time for you to win something this evening then. Why don't you go join the game in the other room and I'll bring drinks.
I can do that. Do I need a different
Open-
jacket for gambling?
Don't be a pill. There was no need for cursing there.
Can I just say that I love that the way this scene is going down is like, Travis, get the Batmobile. Something is not the same.
Exactly. He's
Something
like, I
is
think there's
different about
trouble,
tonight,
and
we must
I'm
put a stop to it.
encouraging you to do something about it.
Travis questions nothing when being given the opportunity to gamble, and that you have taken an interest in something besides
I'm going to, yes, I'm
your
going
8
to walk
o'clock
into
shower.
a different room and not take my third shower of the day. So yes, I'll actually, if the bartender's not there, I'll even like slowly roll up my sleeves and make a drink because I used to do that back at the mansion. And I'll bring them in once he gets in and gets his seat. So, but I tell him to keep his ears open because something strange is happening this evening, and even little things he might not be wise enough to spot would be meaningful if repeated to someone more observant.
He agrees to try and waylay his enthusiasm to play something other than chess and be attentive to things that might be out of the ordinary for you.
And he hops up to head to the other room, and I stop him immediately. Clean up the chessboard first. It's not the man who works here's job to clean up after you.
Yes, sir.
And I go make drinks.
And he cleans up a chessboard. Thank you to, let me see, Vanillius. Not only for subscribing with Prime, not only for following us, but for giving out 5 community subs within minutes of being here, which encouraged the Existential Nerd to drop in several more gifted subs. That's 10 out of Erik tonight. Thank you guys
followed
so
up
much.
by Existential.
Holy crap!
Oh my god!
People enjoy Call of Cthulhu. People are enjoying what you guys are doing on the channel. The comedy stylings of Katie, Erik, Mike, and Steve.
Forget D&D. Today we're talking about aliens.
When we all go insane.
Man, we should have been streaming on Monday nights this whole time. Thank you
We're
guys
just
so much
too
for being
cute to
here. I
deny.
appreciate it. I was hoping to maybe get to some spookums a little bit tonight, but we had kind of a slow start thanks to all of the announcements that I had to get out. And enjoying all these wonderful character moments. I think what we may do, since it's a little bit past 10, and this is normally when we try to stop and when I promised all of my players that we would stop, we will hurry into the spookums. TL Holdren, 5 more community subs. Oh my gosh, what the hell?
Apparently it's time to show exclusive.
That's 10 for Holden as well. Catalyst Designs. Family Fantasy RPG, Maple Prism, fellow community moderator for the play-by-post, Mick Arcade, King Bashman from GaryCon, just got gifted subs, Cam Son of Ander, who just wrote an article for the Dungeon Feed. You were at GaryCon. The fellow running behind the scenes, the guy that was doing the Alien stream for us, managing the cams and the stream, was King Bashman.
That was a great show, man.
Both of Icy's accounts, Icy and Femto, got gifted subs this weekend, or tonight, not just this weekend. Wow, you guys kick ass. Thank you guys so much for showing support. We are so lucky to have y'all here. To my players, I hate to stop when people are encouraging us to go on. but it is after hours. Would we like to raid someone, or to is there anything that you guys would like to say, or do you all do you insist on continuing? I think
I'll say that I know you were nervous about doing this, and I think you did an excellent job.
Yeah, you did great.
Very entertaining.
I think that is
agree.
mostly due to y'all. I do appreciate the encouragement. I enjoy meeting your characters and being some of these characters. I hope I can actually get them in some trouble here very soon. We have passed, by the way, I should note, at the bottom of my screen, we have slowly been filling up a bar of subscriptions towards me doing a exclusive of show-only articles as a giveaway. So we will be doing that next Monday. Next time I'm in charge of a stream, I will be giving away stuff from Misty Mountain Gaming that you cannot buy on the website.
Wow.
I have been cagey with what it would be because I thought that was more exciting. Maybe I should have reversed that. Not that it seemed to stop you guys. It is going to be a horn mug that I have behind me about 10 feet away. I think Erik has something similar that he might be reaching for.
Oh, no.
Okay. The timing on that was suspicious. It'll be a water buffalo horn mug coated in resin for you to drink out of all of your favorite beverages, and I will be filling that horn mug with various dice for people to enjoy. So we will be doing that giveaway next Monday, as well as continuing the story of the Hotel Excelsior. You guys don't even know what's wrong with this place yet, but something is wrong with this place.
We
That
could have
whole
figured
little
out what
exchange
going
was
on.
weird, though.
Oh,
Could
yeah,
have had
very
time
weird.
for spookums if we just had a couple less digs at a certain actor.
No, those were
up on the
absolutely
eighth floor.
necessary, and I don't know what you're talking about.
We need
I
it. We need the
definitely don't know
comedic
what he's
relief.
talking about.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
hey, Johnny.
Yeah, yours were great.
Oh,
Yeah, you wouldn't want to rush into a
Was
job
great.
after 6 months of being unemployed. I can see why you'd want to take your time.
Look,
oh.
people are going to care more when we die if they know more about your characters. It's not going to hurt the right way if we don't have some expose leading up to it.
Someone has Sheepish Lamb has encouraged us to guide the raid towards the Knights of Silver Moon, so we will be doing that here in a moment to continue the RPG goodness. We will be doing a giveaway next week on the stream. We will be continuing this stream at the same time, same place, right here with more Call of Cthulhu. Thank you to all of my awesome players who took time out of their weeks to play Call of Cthulhu with me to entertain y'all and myself and one another. Thank you especially to Erik Braa, who's in a different time zone than the rest of us, and who we have missed so dearly over here. And to Katie, who had a lot of technical difficulties and jumped through hoops to be with us on the stream tonight. This is drove to another place where she had power to be able to
I believe that the curse of Cthulhu, or whatever it's going to be, is already affecting my real life. So, thanks for that.
All right, we are going to get this raid set up. When you go over there, say something Cthulhu-y to everybody over there. Mention Relia or Cthulhu Patagon, Yog Sothoth. So, say something inexplicable when you get over there. What was that, Mike?
Yeah, that's what
I said your pronunciations are great. What Nyarlathotep is the hardest one for me.
Yeah, because I thought it was like Nyarlathotep, but it was like Nyarlathotep.
I think it's Nyarlathotep.
Yeah.
It is cool, Thulu.
Exactly.
Cool, Thulu.
All right. See, Sheepy's got it. Everyone copy what Sheepy said and go paste that with some random emoji from our channel when you go over to Knights of Silver Moon. We will see you guys right back here next week. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Thank you so much for all of the support and the raids and the subs, and that is just so encouraging. But just in case you guys do not hear it anywhere else this week, please hear it from us and know that we love you guys.
Love you.
We'll see you next time.